Oh, we're on. Sorry, everybody. It's been a morning. Welcome to WDWNT Live. We're live. It's Monday, April 6th, and we're here every day until the Disney parks around the world reopen. I'm Tom Corliss. Joining me is a slew of people that we got to wait for Colleen to come back to put them on screen. So. Is Instagram broken again?
It says it's working, but the preview's black, so I don't know
if we're actually
if
on
it's
Instagram.
actually working.
We can go look. Let's see. Let's see if it says it's on. No, we're there. There I am.
Okay.
There I am.
Here's all the people.
Me looking at my phone on Instagram. It's very exciting. Who do we got? Spencer. Did you do all your articles yet, Spencer?
Yes.
Okay,
well,
good.
the Disneyland ones, not the Disney Store one.
Oh, you need to do those, or I'm not letting you on another show. It's like having a child, basically. Ron Deanna's here. Nope, he's muted. Did we mute him?
Good morning.
Okay. Eric Wolf.
Hey, howdy, hey guys.
Scott Smith.
Hello there.
Oh, and then Colleen's over here.
I live here.
What's the black screen in the middle?
That was Nick.
We had him murdered.
In memoriam.
It's murder.
Ron is a baby. He should get her own camera.
Tom, you get to inherit his van.
I don't want it. I think I'm good. Okay, so let me talk about what we're gonna do this morning. Over the weekend, I sat and I looked at the list of all the Disney animated films in the entire canon, and I was like, I need to rank these. And so I put them in. What is it? There's 58, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't number them, which was a mistake, but they're all in order at least. But I'm gonna open the chat before things get crazy. So we're gonna find out who agrees and disagrees with me this morning. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of fighting.
Look at the TV.
What was that?
Look at the TV.
I'm working on it.
Quiet, Spencer.
It's live stream
I'll
magic,
just
Spencer.
block you. I'll just move my screen out to cover you too. Wait, we should have done like I was pulling it in.
I don't know why it was only covering me though and no one else. I don't know.
No.
Hold on.
I don't like how it's uneven. There you go. Wait. There. Oh. Almost. What do you?
Hold on.
Why, it's like a thing you drag, right?
Yeah.
And so you can't just get it quite right. Oh. Oop. There we go.
There we go.
That looks somewhat even. It's like when I make the YouTube featured image for Back to the Future, they're always the images are slightly off. There's no clean edges. Anyway, I'm going to open the chat so I can see what people are saying as I infuriate them with my list. If I can find YouTube, there it is.
So we basically just commenting on your list, Tom, as opposed to having our own list.
Did anyone make one?
I have my top.
We didn't know what to do.
We can talk about your top 10 at the end. That's fine.
I have my top 10. That's
I
it.
mean, we could just argue with Tom.
No, I don't.
I thought people would just want to argue with me. I figured that was who said no, I don't.
I didn't have a list.
You have a full list?
No, I didn't even make a list.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I don't think I told people to, so it's fine.
I know what my favorite.
Usually these things is just me and Spencer and Colleen sitting here, so I didn't know how many people were showing up. You know. Here we go. Now I can look at the chat. Thanks for the info. Got all 4 posters, Tom. I got all 4 posters too. It's a really good time to spend $360 on posters, everybody. The economy's doing well. You know.
Who needs food?
Great. What was that, Scott?
Who needs food?
If I get hungry, I'll just eat I'll eat the Turtle Talk one. That one kind of sucks.
Eat poster. Yeah.
Yeah. But I had to have Living Seas. That I think is the best, and that's not even my favorite pavilion ever. I think that's the best poster in that entire set, though. If you walk around the Epcot experience, I think it's the one that best captures what the pavilion was, what you could do in it, the spirit of it. I like that one a lot. Turtle Talk soup. Oh yeah, yeah, I got it.
Can I air my brief complaint about the state of things right now?
Oh God, go ahead.
Thanks. I appreciate you too. I'm just sad that today was supposed to be the day we were doing the Beauty and the Beast press event, and I'm disappointed that it's not. That's all.
No free cupcakes for us today.
Yeah.
We'll have to have paid cupcake. No, April 15th, I think, is going to be the day I'm going to be sad, because that was the day everything was supposed to open. That's going to be sad.
They're still going to hold the press event. It's too
April
big of a deal
15th,
for them to not do it
2021.
later.
God, anyway. A lot of people were commenting this morning about the Moana poster. They're like, oh, I got to get this poster because they're never going to build it. It's like, half the building's knocked down. Do you think we're going to keep, half of Interventions? Like, just, like, the hallway and this side building? We're just going to, at this point, just be like, it's fine. Art of Disney moves. I'd be happy with Art of Disney moving back, honestly. I love that store.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm fine with that. Anyway. I think anything they've started on, and for the most part, they've started on that. So I think it's pretty safe. So here's what's going to happen, is I'm going to go down this list, and we're going to see who agrees with me and who doesn't agree with me, ranking all 58 of the official animated movies in the Disney canon. Is everybody ready?
And we're not including Pixar.
No, we're going to be here for months,
Disney
so we'll do that another day.
Okay.
That'll have its own day.
All right.
No
All
Toon
right.
Studios, no Pixar, just feature animation.
no
It
Toon
has to be
Studios. Ugh.
considered part of the theatrical canon, yeah. It's very specific.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that eliminates, and that's good. Eliminates things like the Lion King remake and all sorts of stuff. So,
Yeah.
all right, number 58. What does everyone think I'm going to rank as the worst one of them all? First of all, that's what I want to know.
I mean, should we just say
Home on the
what do you think
Range?
the worst movie is?
Both. You can say
Home
both,
on the Range.
sure.
Home on the Range.
You think it's the
Home on the
worst
Range
one
or
of all?
Chicken Little?
Home on the Range has
That or
has
Chicken
its
Little.
moments though.
We'll get to it.
No,
Home on the Range, and I would say Chicken Little or Home on the Range, yeah.
I was gonna say those are my two: Chicken Little or Home on the Range.
Ron?
They're my two
Or
bottom.
Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Those are your two bottom? Some of you are right. My 58, it's Chicken Little.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was pretty
Chicken
terrible.
Little is the worst Disney animated. See, I think at least Home on the Range has like original music and stuff going for it.
Yeah.
Chicken Little has like pop music. It's junk. Chicken Little is absolutely horrendous. Like, it's not funny. It has no charm. It's the ugliest computer animation I think I've seen. You know, I mean, I guess there's some early stuff from other companies, but as far as the Disney computer animated stuff, I think it's the ugliest of the movies for sure.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
What is the first? I think. Well, Dinosaur, I guess technically.
What was that?
I guess Dinosaur would be the first like CG animated from Disney Animation,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
technically
Chicken
the
Little's
first
the
one.
worst.
I think we need to take a brief pause because someone in the chat asked about this little one in the corner. That's Isabel, our new puppy. Is
Oh,
he
you
for
got a new
sure?
puppy?
Two of them actually. This
Oh.
Isabel right there.
I like how she's
After
just
Animal
chilling.
Crossing. And then here's Claude.
Aw.
Oh.
Claude is chilling too. So two new puppies.
Ron also has
Anyway,
his
keep
daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Andy.
That's who I thought we were talking about, actually.
That's what I thought too, but then it was people like animals. People don't like people.
So,
Sorry,
Ron,
it's-
your daughter's adorable, too.
Don't worry, Spencer. We still think
Yes,
you're
she is.
cute.
We were talking about like age, and I was like, it's the baby and then Spencer.
Oh, see, I would have said there's a baby. Oh, and Ron's kid is here too. All
I don't have to
all
take
right,
this
let's keep
abuse.
going. I don't know how much more I have to say about Chicken Little. Chicken Little's terrible.
Well, we have 58 of them to go through, so please make it brief.
All right, 57. The Black Cauldron.
Oh, okay.
Is it really that bad?
I hate The Black Cauldron. It's not a Disney movie. I don't like any of the characters. I like Gurgi a little bit. Bless you.
Bless you.
I don't know. The rest of it's like, and it's not even a design thing because I think like the Horn King looks cool. And there's some well animated moments. It's just not a compelling story. I don't like the characters. I think in fact they're kind of unlikable. It just at no point it feels. What's weird is it feels like a Don Bluth movie, but he was already gone by then, wasn't he? Or was he involved in that?
He might have been there for the design section, like the early parts.
Yeah.
It feels like a Don Bluth, and it feels like the worst Don Bluth movie. I don't know. What does everyone else think of The Black Cauldron?
I used to really love it. I remember seeing it in theaters as a kid. I thought it was cool to be like an adventure movie and things like that. But when I tried rewatching it as an adult, it really just didn't hold up in my mind at all. And that's why I have it at 54 on my list. It's down in near the bottom, but I used to really like it as a kid, but just not anymore.
It's definitely down there. I mean, it has ambition, so I don't know if it's worse than Home on the Range. But
it's a good message for anyone who wants to cram 5 books into one movie. It's probably not the best idea.
Yeah, it's ambitious, but not great. Yeah.
People in chat, troll in Central Park is hard. People are fighting about a troll in Central Park in the chat.
That's Bluth. That is worse than any Disney film, but that is not Disney.
I would like to see the original cut that they had before Eisner tried to family-friendly it, because that could be more interesting.
And correct me if I'm wrong, did they ever, I don't think even like the DVD releases had like a documentary feature, right? They've never actually done a Black Cauldron documentary of any kind, right? I mean, it's mentioned in Waking Sleeping Beauty, but not at length.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I don't think they really want to talk about the development of that movie. All right, I'm going to move on. Number 56, Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Really?
Really? That's what I thought you were going to say. He went on at length. I think it was during Waking Sleeping Beauty about how much he hates this movie.
I love the first Wreck-It Ralph movie. And then everything I loved about the first Wreck-It Ralph movie is decimated in the second one. It becomes clear, like, instead of like, it's like if you made the first Roger Rabbit movie, then you went to make a sequel, but in the sequel, you suddenly weren't going to have the rights to like anything else. So it was just like Disney animated characters. Because what made Roger, and I mean, it's a great story and there's a million other things working for that movie, but the big hook of Who Framed Roger Rabbit was like, oh, Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse are together in a cartoon. It's just all these cartoons from different studios. It was really ambitious. And then Wreck-It Ralph kind of felt like that for this generation. It was like, well, the Walt Disney Company's licensing like Sonic and all this other stuff. You know, all these things from different video game companies, and they're in a Disney animated movie. It just felt a lot like, at moments, like Roger Rabbit. And the second one it said was, okay, this time we're not doing any of that. This time we want a whole section that just promotes our other IPs. So we're going to have Star Wars, and we're going to have princesses, and then the rest we're just going to make stuff up. We're just going to, like, slightly change things from the internet so they're legally clearable. I mean, beyond that, I don't think the story is good either. Like,
No, it definitely isn't. Wreck-It Ralph, I'll just say for a little spoiler alert, is in my top 10. I love the first one. I really relate to Ralph in that movie. But then he just sort of changes character, and it's not consistent with what he learned from the first movie.
Yeah.
It definitely is not I wouldn't put it this low, because I thought the princess scene was at least, entertaining. So I wouldn't definitely have put it below Home on the Range or like Meet the Robinsons, but it definitely was a disappointment. I'm not going to fight on this because it was certainly disappointing, because I love the first one so much. Then it was about his quest to like himself, but then he just became even more insecure in the sequel. And it's like that, no, I mean, the first one is about liking yourself. And as someone who doesn't really like myself, I really related to that. But then the sequel, he just became more insecure and attached to Vanellope, like in a not a good way. It
was an unhealthy relationship for sure.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it does go out of its way to kind of undo the first movie.
Yeah, I didn't really like
It
I didn't dislike the first movie, but like the first movie's not, you know, if it was like you're gonna watch a Disney movie, that's definitely not that I would read for. But like the second movie is exponentially worse, and the only thing I find interesting about the second movie, I like, you know, oh, we're gonna portray the internet in some tangible way, and that's
so dateable.
They do that,
Yeah.
you know, like, oh, the spam, they're people, and you know, this is what eBay looks like, you know, and so like that's funny, but that's only relatable really to adults. You know, it's funny, like, oh, Twitter's birds, you know, things like that. But it's like, but it is, the story is.
I like the thing where Ralph reads comments and they're all mean.
I do like when Vanellope sings a song.
But that's so dateable, too.
And sing a song. Those moments of, like, we're going to make fun of ourselves.
Yeah, it just felt like, I don't know, it's probably the only, it's one of very few Disney animated movies I've seen where it was like, this was only made to make money. It was like, even like the artists didn't even, there's almost no artistic integrity in it. A lot of it's just...
It feels like they were trying to make a likable Disney version of the Emoji Movie, almost.
Yeah.
It feels like a response to that.
Maybe.
And the final word I think is going to be on right. Ralph could have had a great sequel. They really could have, because the first one did do a lot. But the thing is, video games are going to be timeless, in my opinion. There are always going to be people wanting to play games.
I mean, a lot of those games were already 20, 30 years old when that movie came out. So, I mean, you know.
But that was the point. They were classics at that point.
Yeah, people knew them. They weren't things that people were just going to forget about at some point.
Yeah, the internet is something so amorphous. I don't know if that's the word. Like that's
essentially. Yeah.
That's gonna. Yeah, exactly. That's gonna change.
Yeah. Just think about social media platforms. I mean, how many social media platforms that nearly everyone had are gone? Vine and MySpace and like all these things that were things millions and millions, if not billions, of people had are just non-existent a couple years later.
So it felt very flash in the pan, and you can argue like, oh, video games are not timeless, but I disagree. I think everyone remembers playing a video game no matter how advanced or not it is. And yet the internet is so flat. Someone brought up the Emoji Movie, and like Spencer, I think it was you. I don't want to compare it because that's trash, but almost kind of,
Just like if you've seen both of the movies, you can draw so many parallels between the Emoji Movie and how much it felt like they were trying to pander to the to kids and teenagers at that point who have used the internet, and the same kinds of things that they did in Ralph Breaks the Internet.
The only kids who have used the internet, though, those non-internet kids.
And I mean, I think part of it,
okay, but you know what I mean.
I know what you meant. It just like who are there non-internet? Yeah, Amish. I guess the Amish people. If you're Amish, you may not like the Wreck-It Ralph movies. There is a chance
some very sheltered people
that you may not enjoy these films.
I think part of what makes
I know some very sheltered people. We won't go into that.
We're all very sheltered right now.
Is the portrayal of video games, but it is, you know, everyone knows what an arcade is.
Yeah,
you know,
everyone at least gets the idea.
It's, you know, oh, this is how in the shooting game, you know, it's like this robot and they're leading them around.
Yeah.
You know, and that's interesting.
You don't have to get the references. Like, I think Roger Rabbit, like, if someone watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit and you don't really know who Bugs Bunny is or half those other characters, I think the movie's still amazing. Like, you're not going to have that wow moment of, oh, my God, Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny are on screen at the same time. But I think the movie's so good that it's not going to matter. Like, the concept is strong enough. And as opposed to Ralph, I think in a couple of years' time, if you don't know what's going on in that movie, I think you're just going to be like, this is stupid.
My mom just texted me to tell me to be louder.
Oh.
That's where we're at in our lives.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and how many more years is it going to be that oh my Disney is going to be like relevant also
Yeah.
for Disney themselves
soon.
to like promote that. Yeah.
It just felt like an ad for that site, and that's the biggest problem to me. I think there were good jokes. I don't think they were good repeatable jokes.
Yeah.
It felt more forced than anything else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got to move on because we have a ton of these to get through.
Yeah, we got places to be.
Well, no, the chat's already. The chat is asking to move on. So
Are they? I don't think we're asking to move on. People are just arguing.
someone
Anyway.
said enough, Ralph.
We'll move on. Number 55, The Rescuers.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Over Home on the Range, I don't know.
No.
Here's the thing.
There are.
Here's the thing. Now, I love Bernard and Bianca, two of my favorite characters, bar none. I love them. The premise and the story are just not good, and it felt like a rehash. Like they already had like lady who wants to kill animals. Like Cruella de Vil existed, and in the last decade at that point. So I think
Well,
like
I
it's like,
think she
oh, let's
was.
make another Cruella. At one point, the villain was gonna be Cruella de Vil, and they're like, oh, we can't do that. We gotta make it a different person. The animation looks rough. It's not their prettiest movie. I don't know. It's a throwaway one. No one remembers it. No one talks about it. Other than Bernard and Bianca, I don't think there's anything really redeeming about the original Rescuers. I don't feel anything for this movie. It doesn't have any music really going for it. It's just, I don't know.
It's
I
dead
don't-
in the middle for me.
Yeah, I don't
there were.
disagree.
I don't like.
Go ahead.
I don't think it'd be in like the top, but I definitely don't think it's worse than Home on the Range.
I do.
Yeah, seriously. Home on the Range, Meet the Robinsons.
No.
I have a bunch. I mean,
I think it's worse than Home
At
on the
least it
Range.
has-
Home on the Range.
I think it has
Call it
charm
Home
at
on the
least.
Range.
Like Home on the Range gets a lot of flack, but like it still has things, and I guess we'll talk about it when we get there.
No, it doesn't.
Someone
the
said now I
Range,
get why people
yeah.
hate Tom. Oh my God.
Ron,
A lot of people agree though that it's not good.
No, I always liked the Rescuers.
It's not
Someone said
good,
Home on
but
the
it's
Range
not
is
that
number
bad.
one.
And you have Down Under higher.
Oh,
Like,
Down
that's
Under's a
weird.
better movie for sure.
I don't
think
about that.
much better, but it's a better movie.
I don't.
Down Under
know
is
about-
beautiful, at least. Like the animation's gorgeous. I think there's something to be said for that. The Rescuers isn't anything. It's not pretty. The story's not memorable. The villain's not memorable. There's no music. Like there's a million things I don't like about The Rescue. As much as I love Zsa Zsa Gabor and Bob Newhart's is Bernard, right?
Yeah.
Bernard.
Well,
I adore both of those people, and I still just can't get into this movie. I kind of wish they just gave Bernard and Bianca like an animated series. I feel like they're great characters. They should have something.
They would have been a
else.
good series.
Because the whole gimmick is like kids. You go to Kids in Need every week. You can go to some other
That's
kid,
That is
right?
also based on a book series.
Yeah. All right. Number 54, Dinosaur.
That's a bad movie.
So
Close enough.
the only thing
I
that keeps
don't-
Dinosaur from being the last is the first like 4 minutes, because I think the first 4 minutes are 4 of the best minutes in any animated movie ever made.
I don't know what the first 4 minutes are.
So
I have, like,
the
no
trailer-
memory of
The
Dinosaur.
trailer was because it'd never been done before. Like we're gonna do CGI dinosaurs on real backgrounds, and it's gonna be the whole movie. And so when you saw the trailer, which was just the opening couple minutes, it's the journey of the egg. So it's this pteranodon
Oh yeah.
carrying this egg across all these beautiful locales, and things happen, and it's set to the music is fantastic, but that score is amazing. And like that was why we went to see the movie. We saw that trailer, which was just the journey of the egg part, and we were like, we got to see this. This looks incredible. And then you watch that section, and then suddenly the monkey talks, and it's like, nope, I'm out. That's it. Like you've now turned this what could have been like a weird fake like animal documentary, like just watching dinosaurs interact. Like I think it would have been this crazy cool thing if all the dinosaurs never spoke in the movie, and it was just like this fake photorealistic, almost documentary about dinosaurs, and you just watch things happen. I think it, without dialogue, I think if you turn off the voices on Dinosaur, it's a really watchable movie, but I think the characters and the casting are so bad. I can't.
I forget that Dinosaur even exists.
I think it's painful. I think it's painfully average. I don't think it's like offensively bad.
But like
But
the
it's
Carnotaur can't talk because they're like, well, no, the Carnotaur's got to be scary, so the Carnotaur just roars. But everyone else can talk. Carnotaur's stupid. Like
Well,
they're
that
all
was the same thing in
dinosaurs. Like
Land
if
of-
one can talk, can't they all? Like I don't understand.
Wasn't that the same thing in Land Before Time, though, too?
Yeah,
Like
that's
the bad
true.
one
I don't like that movie
Yeah.
either.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't like the original Land Before
One
Time,
is the
really?
only one worth talking about, but I don't know.
You don't like Land Before Time
A
15?
little.
Is that the one where he gets Littlefoot gets new shoes? Is that one? Aladdin 4, Jafar needs glasses. That's my favorite Family Guy bit of all time. 1 or 2? 1? Just doing the eye test. Anyway. Number 53, Home on the Range.
There we go.
Let me tell you why Home on the Range is better than those other 5 movies. The music. Alameda Slim's villain song is one of, if not the best villain song they've ever done.
How's Yodel? It is just the weirdest thing.
The Yodel song is so
Remember seeing
good.
this
Such
movie
a
and
good
was like,
thing, though.
what is going on?
But the Home on the Range theme is I love that song. It's one of my favorite Disney songs ever made. Home on the Range.
No. Don't like it enough.
And then
only
the
thing got
emotional
me-
song is great too. Was it When Will the Sun Shine Again or whatever it is? It's really
I believe
nice
so.
song.
I don't even remember that there were songs.
If you listen to the soundtrack, you'll fall in love with the
weird.
movie just for the soundtrack until you watch the movie and you're like, oh yeah, the rest is horrendous. But I think just for the soundtrack, I think it deserves to be a couple of spots up. It's a nice soundtrack.
It's still hard to
Not
forgive
good
Home on the Range for being the film that killed traditional animation until Princess and the Frog.
I don't know if that's the film. There were a lot of films on the way that killed hand-drawn animation. Home on the Range put the nail in the coffin. But the coffin was constructed by Milo Thatch, so, you know.
It's bad. I have it last just because I don't like the actor voices. I don't like the story. I think it's just obnoxious.
You don't like Roseanne
as a
Barr as a
movie.
cow?
Yeah, it's weird.
That's a bit of stunt cast.
I'm a cow!
You can play it.
Jennifer
That's
Tilly?
honestly the perfect.
Such a bad movie.
Oh, and then what?
Perfect
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Cuba
is,
Gooding
the
Jr.
horse,
the
right?
horse. Yep.
Yep.
I feel like I just saw like in my mind like an old like 1950s movie trailer, and it's Cuba Gooding is the horse. Anyway, I think I just set this one up. Number 52, Atlantis: The Lost Empire. This was the biggest disappointment on this list. Probably the one I was the most excited to see in a movie theater. And this was the moment I realized that the Walt Disney Company made mistakes. I don't think through my childhood, because, you know, I grew up through the Disney decade. It was a pretty good period for them. So I didn't really understand, like, but once, like, they closed Journey to Imagination and Atlantis came out, I was like, oh, things are going to get bad. Like, this is going to be, yeah. And so Atlantis, I just thought it was the coolest concept. I was so excited that they were going to do an action movie. And I was like, this has got to be the greatest thing ever. And then I saw it, I was like, that was the blandest, stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Ron
See,
said
I
something
think it's
earlier.
ambitious. Go ahead.
No, earlier Ron was saying the first half's good and the second half is bad before you got here.
Sure. The setup is
I just
good. It's
think
just the payoff sucks, which in a movie where you're traveling to, it's the same problem Tomorrowland had. In a movie where you're traveling to like this secret lost place that's supposed to be grandiose and amazing, if you don't deliver there, then the whole movie is gone. So like Tomorrowland, we got to see what Tomorrowland was for like a minute, and then instead we travel to it like when it's destroyed. and it's not interesting. I don't care. The movie's called Tomorrowland. Like, I wanted to see this weird futuristic place of invention. I don't know.
And we talked about the actual original story at some point, I think, with there were going to be the 4 monsters, and they only cut it down to the 1.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been much more interesting. Like, the journey to Atlantis was great, but when they get there, it's boring. And the characters that you kind of began to like, all of a sudden, the villainous turn for like 10 minutes of the movie till they all turn back and back on his side. It's just,
See, I think you go ahead. Finish your sentence.
No, it's just weak at a good two, like Tomorrowland, great 2 first acts and just a horrible third. That actually make the 2 good acts worse. And I got to go catch my baby before she goes down the stairs.
See, I don't even know that I would call it like half the movie, because I think they get to Atlantis like 30 minutes in. So like the first like half hour's good, and then it's like, I don't know anymore.
See, I think the voice cast is so good that it puts it above like Home on the Range and Meet the Robinsons and stuff like that. Like, I talk about you talk about Meet the Robinsons. I can't remember a single actor who fit their character that well. Yeah, it's something about Michael J. Fox. You have Cree Summers as Keita. You have Leonard Nimoy as the Elder.
Father Guido Sarducci.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good voice.
What a casting for Father Guido Sarducci in the year 2000 to play a character in a Disney animated film.
But you had even if you don't remember the name, like, who's Rourke? I don't remember, but it was.
I couldn't tell you any of those character names other than like Milo and Keita.
But like, I remember their voices. Like, I remember their voices in my head.
Yeah.
Like the Doctor, Corey Burton as Mole.
I only know the other guy because I watched all the like 70s SNL, so I know the voice of Father Guido Sarducci. But otherwise,
I don't know. I just think the voice cast was memorable enough. That it puts it above like Meet the Robinsons and Home on the Range. I definitely wouldn't put it very much higher.
Yeah.
But I think the voice cast alone deserves a little more than Dinosaur. Again, Dinosaur. I don't remember anyone but Della Reese, you know, and even that, so
Della Reese as the Triceratops with glaucoma,
Styracosaurus, but whatever. Yeah. So I think it was ambitious, and I like the voice cast, but I get what you're saying.
Okay. Anything else to be said about Atlantis, the Lost Expedition or Lost Empire? Excuse me.
No.
The score isn't all that bad. I think that the score and the good voice casting and the decent first act compared to the god-awful other 2/3 of the film makes it passable.
Okay.
I guess. That's really the most I can say about it.
Oh, you ready for me to piss everyone off now? Because here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Number 51. Meet the Robinsons.
Are you kidding me? Why?
See, here we go.
I love
Here we go.
Robinsons, and I don't really have like a reason why. I don't think I saw it till like I was an adult. I guess we were probably.
No, I'm with Tom.
Scott agrees with me. What?
I got your back. I don't like that movie at all.
That wasn't.
Go to the future.
Why not?
Get your keep moving forward thing out of here. Here's the story of Meet the Robinsons. It was the last movie in production before John Lasseter came in. And it was like too late. And he came in and they're like, well, how are we going to fix this one? He's like, I don't know, put a Walt Disney quote at the end of it. That's a true story. John Lasseter said, put the quote at the end. And I feel like that's why we're all like, oh, but it has a Walt Disney quote. He was great.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
But that's the message of the whole movie. Like
the montage of like the ridiculous family in the future.
But it feels like a DreamWorks movie.
I love me.
Like I like Bowler Hat Guy. In fairness, I like that story arc.
Hilarious.
I like that character.
Really do like him, yeah.
I hate everyone else.
Everyone
else I hate. The meatball people, the frog. Like
there's way too many people.
It's a DreamWorks.
And you can't get invested.
It feels like a DreamWorks.
I love it.
The only part of that
it's
movie,
silly and it's not,
It breaks all the laws of time travel.
Yeah, it really does.
Real, so that
You can't talk to yourself. You can't talk to yourself.
Look
in
at
the
all this
whole
stuff you'll
reality.
do. And the kid's like, oh, cool. It just goes back and we'll just assume he does it all still.
Yeah.
That's fine. I like.
Can you imagine the pressure?
Inspirational.
He plays him as an adult.
No.
I think compared to everything else that we have on this list, still,
I love
Meet the Robinson does just.
No, I'm with
here.
Colleen. Colleen, I back you up. Meet the Robinsons was inspirational.
That's because
to
you're
me
the
as a
main
kid.
character.
I've got it in the lower middle just because it's entertaining from beginning to end, but there's nothing
It's not
special about it.
terrible. It just doesn't feel like a
I don't
Disney
like it.
animated movie. I don't know.
It's
I'm a
all
villain guy.
over the place.
Makes it for me, so I don't know.
It's
But I do feel
it's
like
funny.
it's
The
belongs down here.
It's funny. There's a lot of humor that still holds up in it. Some of it, like you could easily cut the little meatball fight thing. That was stupid.
You can cut
But there's a lot of
stuff.
humor in it that holds up. It's inspirational. And like, there's so much about this movie to love. I don't know
I
how
was
you
trying to
could
think
rank
of the
it so
robot
low.
in this movie, and instead I realized I was thinking of the animated movie Robots.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking
It does
of,
actually look
Ben.
like the robots from
You're
Robots.
thinking
Yeah.
of that, yeah. Every
See,
single
but
time
that's
I try to
bad. If a
think
Disney
of
animated movie just blends with something from a garbage studio, then I feel like we have.
First of
I
all,
love Meet the Robinsons. I
let-
think it's fun.
let's not write off Blue
Different.
Sky completely.
No, but
And-
that was not a high point in their existence.
Here's a hot take. I thought Robots.
What'd you say?
I thought Robots was better than Meet the Robinsons. Sorry.
I don't even remember Robots other than there's robots in it. I couldn't
I
tell
think-
you.
Isn't it a
I-
Disney
There's a
movie now?
robot.
The,
Ewan McGregor's a robot?
I think so.
Is
The
that the
thing
one where he
about-
tells the
Don't
other
they own it
robot he has the higher ground? It's over.
I don't know.
You
That
got
one?
Mel. You had Mel Brooks in that one. You had Robin
The-
Williams in that
that's
one.
the thing about
Oh, Robin Williams. That's
the thing about
right.
Robots is the voice cast is really solid, but it's not a very memorable movie because you have Ewan McGregor, Mel Brooks, Halle Berry,
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
But that was like the hallmark
you
of those
have a
other studios
very-
was let's just load these up with A-listers, and then that way people will go take their kids to see it because they'll be like, oh, I like
I
that
was
person.
just say, I was like, yeah, they've kind of tried to follow the Disney formula, but at the same time,
Yeah.
they've kind of left out story, animation, just everything else.
It's still the
And they were like,
second
"The
best
animation-
Robin Williams as a robot movie.
the animation for
If you throw in Timekeeper, it's the third
Robots
best.
Actually, I like Robots as animation. I just think that the story is garbage.
I don't know how we're talking about
I
robots.
don't know.
This is
Robots
Yeah,
is
let's
not
not-
relevant.
This is happening.
I love Meet the Robinsons. Tom's wrong.
No, I'm not.
Tom is wrong. Thank you, Colleen.
No.
I disagree. I think Tom's got it. Not a
Thank
good
you,
movie.
Scott.
Yeah, I think it falls perfectly right here.
Spencer agreeing with me doesn't really make me feel better.
I don't have it
How
high.
did
but
I
there's
end up
things
as
that
the
are much
person
worse.
that like?
What did Ron say?
I don't have it very high, but there are things much worse than that. I think on my list.
Number 49, The Fox and the Hound.
Thank
Cute
God.
characters, a decent story. It's forgettable. I don't feel anything for this movie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fight you on this one.
Again, it's another from that period where the animation, like they got cheap with the animation because the company wasn't doing great. I don't know.
yeah.
I like
Yeah, I
Todd
have
and
it right
Copper.
about
They're
it.
cute. I'll buy merchandise with them, but I don't need to watch them in a movie. It doesn't do anything for me.
I think I got it at 47. Just
Someone
about
got
the same spot.
really mad that I didn't like Fox the Hound and had a comment that can't even be approved. Best of Friends might be the only reason this is as high as it is. But see, no one's even fighting for Fox now. No one cares enough to even be
No.
like, Fox and the
can't.
Hound.
Some part of me
It's
wants
the
to be
first
like,
movie I
no,
saw
they're
in
all
theaters,
great.
and
They should all be higher, but I'm like, no, there's 58 of them. Like, it feels like everything's so low, and I'm like,
Yeah.
there's so many movies to go.
Yeah.
all right, hey, Tom. Just one thing I want to say. Like after like my first negative on my list, everything's at least like a B minus. I'd say as a movie to me.
Oh, see,
Like,
I don't
How far?
like any of these down here. We're probably like 3 or 4 spots away from me at least liking a movie.
This is great.
Okay.
All right. Number 48, The Rescuers Down Under.
Yeah, I'm fine with
This
that.
is mostly just saved for how pretty the movie is. I think that eagle, falcon, whatever bird that is, that scene is so
It's a
pretty.
falcon.
It's a fake bird, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, whatever it is.
It's not real.
It's a beautiful scene. The animation's really pretty. That's kind, and then Bernard and Bianca are in it. Those are like the saving graces of Rescuers Down Under. It's another one I don't feel like anyone has anything to say
Yeah,
about.
you know.
No,
Yeah.
not really.
It's completely forgettable.
Yeah, people are not really arguing in the chat either. All right, now I'm gonna anger all the kids. Here we go. Number 47, Frozen 2.
No, I don't.
This is the least necessary sequel they've ever made. It doesn't do any. The characters have no growth whatsoever. Like, we find out, yeah, we of course there had to be some reason Elsa has magical powers. Yeah, it's established. We didn't figure she just has them out of nowhere. I don't know. I didn't need her to have her like Rey story. I didn't need that.
I mean, you say, you know, it's the least necessary sequel, but like of these 58 movies, only 3 of them are sequels.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't.
Yeah.
Rescuers Down Under until like Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Yeah.
They didn't. Sequels weren't.
They're usually
They
VHS
were
releases.
usually
yeah.
VHS. They were Disney Toon Studios. You know.
I'm not saying they shouldn't have tried to make a Frozen 2. I mean, it made a lot of money.
Yeah.
I just don't think they told a good story. I mean, Anna doesn't really grow as a person. Like, she's already, like, it was to the point where they're like, we don't even really have anything for these characters to do because we completed a lot of their stories. Like, Kristoff just spends the movie trying to propose because they have nothing else to do with him.
It's
Poor
like,
dude, I like Kristoff.
It's fine, but it was sort of like I didn't. You didn't need that. I didn't need that
Yeah.
movie. Like the parts of the movie that I like is when Olaf recaps the
Yeah.
first movie and Kristoff's song.
The song. I was just going to say those two things.
Because
I
those are
also
really
like Into
funny.
the Unknown. I think it's a great song. I think
Yeah.
this would be a lot lower if it wasn't for like those couple of things that I
Yeah.
think are really great. But
Like-
there's so much of the movie that's so.
I wouldn't have.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have put it above like the package films, like the Make My Music and stuff like that, because I think it's ambitious. But I like the soundtrack a lot. I do.
Yeah.
But and I actually like Olaf. Everyone knows I hated Olaf in the first movie. I think he's a lot funnier in this one.
Oh, for
I
sure, I
agree.
agree with you.
Absolutely.
He has character development in this one.
I think Olaf's been better in everything they've done since. I think the shorts and everything. I think,
Yeah.
and that's what I always used to say to people. I would be like, you know, I really want to dislike Frozen, but every time they release something, I think it's really cute and well done. I like the Christmas thing. I like the shorts. The first movie's great, as much as I would like to dislike it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that point. But to get back to Frozen 2, it just was not. It didn't fill me with emotion. Like Disney films are emotional for me. Like when I cry during all of my top tens, or I can pick out a moment where I can relate to the character. Here they were just like, meh.
I couldn't even tell you who the
hang
new
on.
characters were. I don't remember anyone.
Well, I think
There's
they
one
built
really
up the new
powerful moment in
characters where,
Frozen
like,
2.
Oh, this actress is playing this new
Yeah.
character, and then she spoke twice, which I
Yeah,
was
what's her
kind of
name
annoying.
from Westworld? Like, was cast as the mother, but she has like 4 lines, and I was like,
Yeah, there's-
she's a big
Evan
actress
Rachel
to
Wood.
have 4 lines.
You know,
Evan
I
Rachel
like
Wood is the
At
mom.
the end, that like, I don't know, it's all about these sisters and we're together and we're happy, and then at the end, it's like we're gonna live apart now. And for my personal vendetta,
And now here I go on my water horse away.
on my personal vendetta of
You
trying
know
to
what?
get my little sister not to move to another state,
Yeah.
it really didn't help me. And she was like,
No,
"See,
but that-
sissy, they move apart and they're still friends and it's okay." And I was like, no, we did that part. We've lived in other states. In Frozen 3, they'll live together again and they'll be happy. Shut up.
We'll see. I'm not going to comment on the personal aspect of it, but Yeah, the whole first movie is about them coming together and realizing how much they love each other. This is why I hated Toy Story 4 or did not like Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go in.
It
the
undoes
first
what
three
was,
movies-
I think, one of the greatest movies ever made.
The whole movie, all three of them are about sticking with together.
Yeah.
And then, spoilers for Toy Story 4 for anyone listening. Okay, you're out of here. All right, good. It's the whole three movies are about them sticking together no matter what, no matter what the circumstances. We're going to stay with our kid, and even if our kid grows up, we're going to stay together. And then Woody leaves like that. I'll get to that.
People are saying, how could you not cry like when the parents died? We knew the parents died. They died in the first one. It wasn't a surprise. Like, yeah, I thought it was too graphic. I thought it wasn't very. I don't think there was a very artistic way in a kid's movie to depict the death of the parents the way they did in the second one. I think it was handled well the first time. It was emotional enough, like these sisters lost their parents. They're like, they live separated from each other now. Like, that's enough emotion. You didn't need, like, to show the parents dying, basically. Yeah. Like, that doesn't do anything.
And I always liked the, like, story, the idea that it was like, oh, they were going to Rapunzel and Flynn's wedding. Like, it's a silly thing, but, like, I always thought that was cute. Like, oh... And then it was like, oh no, they were going to this secret island.
And then I liked when they were Tarzan's parents. That's what
I was like, that doesn't make sense. But like, Rapunzel and Flynn, you see them for like a split second in Frozen, and it was like, oh yeah, they were going to the wedding and they died, and so Rapunzel and Flynn came to her coronation, and I always thought that was cute, and then it was like, you took that from me.
But think about this, like Bambi has one of the most powerful moments in film history because they don't show it. You hear a gunshot, you know what has happened, and that's all you need.
I mean,
that is all you need.
The ship sinks, you get it.
Yeah, like, you see the ship like just engulfed in a wave. Yeah. I think and then they drop the black curtain over the picture. I think it's a very tasteful way. I think it's more emotional that way. I don't know.
With Frozen 2, I really feel like the one emotional moment in that movie was Next Right Thing. That was something that really impacted me. I feel like I was listening to Anna. It's really relatable if you've been there's like moments in life where that song feels really relatable, honestly.
I get it. I just don't think the song's good. I know what they were going for, and I like the vibe. I just don't think the song is good.
It really is lacking like a finale song. That's the last song in the movie.
Yeah.
But
that is the last song, and it needed a better song.
Like, and so
it had a great song.
But that's the same thing that happened in the first movie. There's no song in the last 30 minutes. So when they went to do the musicals, they're like, well, which of the existing songs are we ending on in these musicals?
Which,
Fix Her Up is the last song in the first movie, yeah.
And it is weird that neither of them have a finale song, but at least like you're listening to the soundtrack for the first one, the last song is Fix Her Upper, which is happy.
Yeah.
So you're listening to the soundtrack for the second one, and the last song is Next Right Thing.
What was the next right thing?
I'm sad.
But on the soundtrack,
Show Yourself is one of my. Show Yourself is one of my favorite Disney songs. That just I loved Show Yourself better than anything from the first movie, including Let It Go.
I actually as well. I like Show Yourself actually more than the other song. I don't even know what the name of the song is. There we go. Into the Unknown.
Into the Unknown's a TikTok where you do the thing out the window and then someone does it back. I like that one.
That's Show Yourself was robbed, I think.
I'll just say this because Andy, it was her first movie to see Frozen 2, and she's sitting on my lap. She just woke up from a nap about halfway through the movie, and Show Yourself comes on, and she goes bananas. She's waving her hands, clapping, and so I might be a little jaded, or not unjaded, liking this movie. That's why I just have it. Yeah, I think at 31, just right in the middle. Yeah. Nothing special, but I have memories for it. So
I mean, I will say, like as a kid, like when you're a kid, it doesn't necessarily always matter. Like there were certainly some of these I liked as a kid, and then as I grew up, I was like, oh, I don't like that.
I will say, quick point I was trying to make is that there is actually an awesome song for Christoph and Anna on the soundtrack that got cut from the movie that was supposed to be at the end with him proposing.
Didn't they cut a Christoph and Anna song from both movies?
Yeah, no.
I don't.
That point, yeah. Had like there were longer songs for him in the first movie.
And they all got cut, and he joked all he got was the reindeer song.
So then in this movie they were like, okay, we wrote you this song, and you get to sing like 5 parts.
I mean, it's amazing. Like, I agree with people.
It's a great song.
I thought it saves the movie for sure.
Yeah, Lost in the Woods is
Lost
my
in the
favorite.
Woods is fantastic.
Yeah, it's.
There's no doubt that and Olaf telling the story, and yeah. Wow.
The second movie has better music than the first. Yeah.
Like that's funny. Like Olaf and Kristoff are the best parts. It's their ridiculous parts are the best parts of the film.
Yeah, because there's nothing else where the other characters really, they didn't need to accomplish anything. They accomplished what they needed to in the first movie.
At the end when Olaf is wearing his little suit, my favorite.
Have an existential crisis.
I don't know, maybe I wish like the reveal was better. I wish the mystery of what happened was more interesting. And the payoff was bad, because I thought the trailer made me really excited to see the movie. And then I just thought the payoff was bad. I was like, oh, this is kind of predictable and kind of
It's funny because my roommate actually, we were talking about it, and she's like, after watching the first movie, I had no questions about anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so funny, because after the first movie, I was like, okay, so she has powers. Where does she get it? How does she do this? Like, there was a bunch of questions that I had, but I don't think they answered them in this sequel. Which was my thing about it.
She's paired with a horse, a small chameleon, and what was the other thing? I don't remember.
He's a salamander.
Yeah.
And just the wind.
It was wind.
Oh, and the wind.
Gale.
That's right. There's just Gale. I don't even remember. Samantha.
Yeah, right. Samantha.
that was really fun.
Yeah. Well, it's true though. Like everyone wants to hate Olaf, but in the second movie, he's the only good part of the whole damn thing.
Really
as someone who hated Olaf I hated Olaf in the first movie. I will freely admit it. Yet he was really funny in this one.
He's not that funny in the first one. It's very the writing is very good for him in the second one. Okay, gonna move on. Number 46, Bolt.
I love Bolt.
I don't dislike Bolt.
Like Bolt.
Bolt is fine. It's just not good. He's very cute. I have an affinity for the waffle restaurant. I want that map of the waffle restaurants that's in the movie.
Yes.
I Thought I Lost You is a really good song with a weird
John
duo
Travolta
singing it.
I do. That is really creepy. Miley Cyrus and John Travolta singing this.
Miley Cyrus and John Travolta's. It's a weird duet, but I like it. It's a good song. It's a fine movie. At least it was. I applaud it. It was a unique concept.
Yeah.
It was something different. It's like, oh, it's a dog. It's famous in a TV show, and he thinks he has the superpowers. And it's a fun concept. It's at least a fine movie.
I mean, yeah, it's not an amazing. I always really enjoyed it. I have a white dog, so like, Bolt. But it's different. I always appreciate when it's like you did a story that was different than you just did a fairy tale and it's cute. But I always, whenever you finish the movie and they get to the song at the end, I'm always like, this is kind of creepy.
Yeah,
I'm all right with that.
Yeah, I get the
Bolt
exact
is one of those movies I just always forget about.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's been on, like, it was on Netflix. It's like always been on Netflix. So like we would watch it.
Yeah. All right, number 45, Treasure Planet.
Okay.
It has its moments. It's not totally terrible. I wouldn't tell people not to watch Treasure Planet. It's just, I don't know.
It's forgettable. It's a remake of something that doesn't need to be remade.
It's got some pretty
I actually happen to. I like the music from the era, but because I like Goo Goo Dolls, but there's the live action. There's just better versions of the same exact story.
I like Martin Short, so I'm good.
Martin Short as Ben.
Ben. Yeah.
Ben the robot.
I probably would have actually.
How many movies does he go through in that one?
What was that?
I said, how many movies does Ben the Martin Short bot go in that movie? I was making a cinemagic joke. Never mind.
Yeah, it didn't work. What else?
I haven't seen it, Spencer. I haven't seen it.
People said Muppet Treasure Island is better than Treasure Planet. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
I agree.
I agree. Oh, everyone's gonna hate me for the next two, so let's just get them over with. Number 44, The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
No, I'm not.
Okay, fine.
The music is
Seriously?
beautiful,
Music is fantastic.
But I'm like, who
Yeah.
went to a meeting and was like,
Yeah.
guys, you know The Hunchback of Notre Dame, that really depressing Victor Hugo book? Let's make
Yeah.
that into a kid's movie.
It didn't.
No one will die.
Yeah,
It'll be fine.
It wasn't a good
Why?
idea for a Disney
I'm with Khalid
movie.
on that one. It just wasn't. It just didn't work.
It's beautiful. The animation is gorgeous. The music is phenomenal, but the story is trash. Like it's really.
That's the thing, though. The animation and the music really saved that movie. I think I would put that movie higher just for those two factors alone.
There's a lot of bad though. Like the three gargoyles are terrible. Like the
That's what
gargoyles
kills
are
the movie.
trash.
Yeah.
The music.
Well, they're in
Frollo-
there to sell merchandise. They're in there to sell merchandise. That's
Or
what
to
it
have
is.
him have
and
someone
the
to
comic
talk to.
relief. They weren't great comic relief. It
They're
was
not
too,
funny at any point.
No. And Frollo might be one of the best villains in any Disney movie.
Well, it's only because he's such a
absolutely
mental
scary.
case. But yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I would always
he's
say,
realistically
like, who is the
scary
most,
more
like,
than like.
who's the worst villain?
Oh,
Like,
he's the most evil for sure.
I always name Frollo because you're like, he's so real. He's
Yeah.
the person of power.
He's killing gypsies. He wants to murder a baby. He locks him in a tower. He's
like-
lusting after this woman.
Like,
oh,
he's horrible.
yeah.
But it's, yeah.
But the music, I mean, like Hellfire. Oh my God, it's the music saves it. It would be my least favorite Disney movie of all time if it wasn't for the soundtrack. It's a great soundtrack. Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe someday we'll have to rank soundtracks. That might be fun, or songs. That would be a fun thing to do. The chat is exploding, someone said. No, looks like a lot of people agree. A lot of people agree on Hunchback. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose people
I'm
on
surrounded
43.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by people who love The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and I'm just like, meh, I'm good. Music, great, like you said, and all that, but story-wise, which I'm that type of person, just doesn't do anything for me.
No. Number 4. Someone said Eric is nude. Eric is not nude. God. All right. Number 43. Big Hero 6.
Oh, get the hell out!
Oh, come on. Are you kidding me?
You've hit my top 10 now, Tom.
And he's gone.
That's in my.
A
that's
wave
in
of
my
the
top-
hand, and I am
Big Hero
gone.
6.
If only that
What's
worked
wrong with
every
Big Hero
time.
6, Tom?
I like Big Hero
It's
6.
emotional-
I don't know. I
it's
keep forgetting, I'm
emotional.
Like, what are all the other movies?
It's
there's
fun,
probably
it's
tons of
funny,
movies I
it's-
like more, but
It's inspirational. It teaches kid learning. Is like it's like a superhero movie, but it's based in reality somewhat. Like chemistry and stuff like that. It's about kids, wanting to learn and
For learning, his brother is blown up.
I mean,
it's a sacrifice.
Somebody's gotta die.
But
Like,
in a fiery explosion.
people
The
are-
villain,
how many of
the
these
villain is the worst Disney villain of all time. I don't care.
gonna argue
I don't like him. He's boring.
I disagree.
It's predictable. The costume looks stupid. Like the villain is the worst part of the movie. But then I don't know. We get introduced to all these heroes. They don't get a lot of time to develop any of their characters, which is what I said at the end of the movie. Is like, that was a terrible movie, but I'd like that as an animated series. And then they announced the animated series. I'm like, oh, that makes sense to me. Okay. I
I think there was enough time for them to develop. I don't know. I like all the different characters.
Yeah.
And this is only seeing the movie. I haven't even seen the series. And I like that they were very different, and you can tell who's who, kind of thing. But I do agree with you on the villain. The villain is one of the worst.
It's a superhero movie, so like you gotta have like this interesting villain, and you don't. I don't understand how you do a superhero movie,
but it's
with such a lame villain.
I disagree. He's not a great villain, but compared to like Alameda Slim and stuff like that.
Oh, Alameda Slim blows him away. Could you even name? Does anyone know the name of the villain in this movie?
Yokai. Yeah.
What, Professor Callahan? I had a Professor Callahan.
Kabuki mask.
Yeah.
No, his name is Yokai.
Yokai. So you didn't even know it was Yoko. That's the villain in the Beatles.
Okay. Anyway,
Scott, we can only see like the top 2/3 of your head.
What?
Oh, whoops, sorry.
I said, Scott, we can only see the top 2/3 of your head.
And Scott gets angry, the camera just shoots higher into the sky.
Sorry, I knocked down my.
Has a great villain.
I've watched the cartoon. I like the cartoon.
I think that villain is great. I also love that actor.
Yeah.
I liked it. I mean, it's part of the trend of the surprise villain.
But it's a bad one.
But that was such a predictable surprise villain. That's the thing.
It works as a series. It shouldn't have been a movie. I don't think it worked.
You're watching the movie and you see the professor guy and he turns him down and you're like, oh yeah, he's going to be the villain.
The writing is very Saturday morning cartoonish. I walked out. I was like, this is an animated show. This isn't a Disney theatrical film release. Like, I don't understand how this got made. Obviously, Baymax is wonderful. I love Baymax. Who doesn't? But the rest.
Baymax is one of the best characters that they've done in 10 years. He's amazing, and I love this movie. It's number 10 on my list. I mean, part of it.
I have it the same place, Ron. Exact same place, number 10.
I got to see it in the first test screening they ever did. I watched it with the director and the cast in the theater. So yeah, that might cloud my judgment a little bit on it, but I still really love this. You know what? I think as soon as this is over, when I get back to my regular job and I'm watching TV doing it, I'm putting on the series, which I haven't watched yet. So I really love this movie. I could see Tom's complaint about the villain, but it's an origin story for the heroes. The villain just has to be there to get the heroes together, and I think he serves that purpose very well.
But we see so little of them that it detracts, though. I think we see so little of them all together. Like, I want to see them as the team, and I just feel like you gave me so little of that. I don't know. It felt like the first episode of a Saturday morning cartoon. I don't think it delivers as a movie. It delivers as like a setup for other things you want to do.
I mean, it was also sort of an experiment. You were taking a Marvel story and trying to make it a cartoon, of which it is.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with the Marvel comic books if you look at.
There are names. They use names.
And that was it, yeah.
Yeah.
And Stanley.
All right, number 42, Saludos Amigos. I like Saludos. It's a very pretty movie. It's just it's hard to rank these collection films higher because they don't have one story.
Yeah.
It's a shame because some of them I really love, like there are individual parts of them that I adore more than some movies I rank higher, but because there are other parts I think they're just kind of
Yeah.
You know, like the Cowboy Goofy thing. And I'm all right.
I
don't know. There are parts of Saludos I don't like, and there are parts I love. Obviously, the Jose Carioca portion is fantastic, but.
What song is that?
These were hard to get, especially.
I was like, my mind.
This one's just Jose and Donald. Panchito's not in.
Is it?
This one.
Yeah. I can't remember what's in which of these package films for some of them, so they might not be exactly where I want them. But Saludos Amigos is not the lowest of my package, and I might have the wrong one in the lowest because I can't remember which one's which for the three musical ones offhand. But yeah, it's definitely the weakest of them, and other than that.
No one even has anything to say about it.
I mean,
No, the package films are all kind of.
I watched it for the first time on Disney Plus. The package films were the only ones I hadn't seen all of them, and so like I watched that on Three Caballeros for the first time, and it was cool, you know. Oh, we went to South America, and then we came up with this story, and like that was interesting. But it is that sort of like it's hard to rank this like collection of shorts versus like a full length movie that you are going to get more invested in.
Yeah.
I'd put these package films under Big Hero 6, but that's just me.
No.
Yeah, I would have as well.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Number 41, The Three Caballeros. I like this one better mostly for Pablo the Penguin. I love that whole segment.
Yeah.
Pablo's the best. Yeah, this one, I don't know, this one's definitely better. And you have the Three Caballeros song, which is classic.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will say that for me, there was a part in like Three Caballeros where I felt like it got kind of uncomfortably sexist. As they're like just chasing women around.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm able to be like, I mean, I of the time and whatever. But the Penguin is cute.
I think I skipped number 50, which was Fun and Fancy Free. So that was the first package film on my list. I think I might have just skipped it. Number 50 was Fun and Fancy Free. That's one with Bongo and Mickey and the Beanstalk.
I do like Mickey and the Beanstalk.
They're fine on their own. I just think as a film, it's weird. I don't know.
I have
We're
it
down
about
to
the same
41.
place. And
Oh yeah, you definitely skipped 50.
Yeah, I don't know what point I skipped that.
Fun and Fancy.
Yeah.
Somewhere between 51 and 49.
All right, number 40 is Make Mine Music. You see we're hitting this whole section of these.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to argue a lot on this because it's not.
Well, I want to mention the parts I like about them. Make Mine Music is the one that has the Johnny Fedora and Alice Bluebonnet, which is fantastic. Then there's
Peter
some
and the
forgettable ones. Blue Bayou, All the Cats Join In, Without You. Casey at the Bat obviously is very memorable. So is Peter and the Wolf.
That was another one that I watched on Disney Plus, and it was I got bored like partway through.
Half of them are good. Like Willie the Whale is good. It's just like, but the other half is kind of like, oh.
I was the Johnny Appleseed story was like for a Disney film extremely religious. That I found like surprising.
Is that in this one?
Maybe that's not in that one.
It's not in this one. No, you got the wrong one.
This
one is The Martins and the Coys, Blue Bayou, All the Cats Join In, Without You, Casey at the Bat, Two Silhouettes, Peter and the Wolf, After You've Gone, Johnny Fedora and Alice Bluebonnet, and The Whale Who Wanted to Sing at the Met. You think of the other one, which we'll get to.
Were all of these released individually over the years and then just threw them together as a package film?
No, they debuted with the film, but then they got released in how many other things where they were separated basically as shorts and stuff over the years.
Okay.
Where are we? Let's see. Number 39, Brother Bear.
Oh, I like this movie a lot.
I do too, but it's at 39. Like, I ranked it above a lot of stuff. I don't dislike, I like Brother Bear a lot, actually.
It's a hard one to place. I've got it at 37. The music's great. The animation's pretty. Yeah. It's got some issues other than that. I mean, what they used Welcome for how many Disney parks, like, runs of ads and stuff?
It's a great song,
yeah.
I probably would have put it lower just because I feel like it's forgettable.
Yeah.
One of the absolute worst sequels, though, because it's the same exact story in the sequel.
Yeah.
Well, and I also hate when you do a sequel and the lead character is a different voice. Like, really, it's not someone trying to do a voice.
Yeah.
It's Patrick Dempsey. It's totally
different.
And if people don't know the TV Mackenzie Brothers bit? Do they get half the jokes in the movie?
Wow.
You're right. I don't know. Brother Bear's fine. Where it's at.
Yeah. I think it's basically I used to like it a lot more because it gets really emotional at times, and I like that. But it's also kind of meh. So it's not.
We're definitely now in the zone where I like everything that's onward from this point. So anything that I mentioned from like, I don't know, from 42 down to 1, I like at least. So it's not really a knock on any of these movies. They're just not as good as some other ones, I think. Number 38, The Emperor's New Groove. I know this has a cult-like following who I expect to be mad.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're probably,
It's my number 3.
38.
I mean, they're probably 30.
Number
It's
3.
fun.
That's high.
It's
Number 3 is a
It's
little
my-
high for New Groove, yeah.
it's
Who has it as
it's
number
my absolute-
3?
mine. It's
Oh
my
my
absolute-
God.
It's my personal favorite. It's not the best, but I just love the movie. I am on the floor laughing every time I watch it. It doesn't feel like a traditional
it's funny.
Disney movie, but
That's
it
my
feels,
problem. Is it's not a Disney animated movie.
it's higher just because I know it's not as good of a movie, but like my top 3, I kind of had to balance between what I love, what I think's the best, and what I think's the most impactful. So this came in on my 3 because it's my favorite to watch, but I know it's not great.
It's fun. It's a fun. Silly.
It is a fun
It's
movie. I
funny,
will sit and
the-
watch it, absolutely.
It's funny. The voice acting is fantastic. The story does hold up pretty well, honestly. I would put it higher than this, but I wouldn't put it at number 3, I don't think. Maybe like top 15.
People are yelling wrong lever in the chat.
Kronk is just amazing.
Why do we even have
beginning
that?
to end?
Yeah, there's some really funny, silly
It's
parts.
very good. I'm trying to rank things based on quality, not necessarily how much I like them. You know, at this
For everything
point.
that went wrong behind the scenes in that movie, the movie turned out really good.
The Sweatbox, if you can find the Sweatbox documentary, you have to watch it. It's amazing. I love it. But Disney has done everything in their power to make sure you don't see that documentary. So, number 37.
Maybe we should do a watch along of that.
What was that?
Maybe we should do our own show on the Sweatbox.
Yeah, I got to see. I don't know if I still have it. I don't know if anyone on staff still has it. I think we can
We'll talk
legally. I think we can get away with showing it on the air. I mean, it's not the thing that's ever been released. I don't know.
Nice.
Let's discuss later.
Yeah. Number 37, The Aristocats. Not your average cats, The Aristocats. I love these characters. I love this movie. It's obviously not amazing. It's very much like 101 Dalmatians, a slightly different story with Edgar the butler. Wants to inherit stuff instead of a bunch of cats.
I mean,
Yeah, and I mean, the animation's not gorgeous at times. I just really like the characters. It's a fun movie. It's a really fun movie. Laurence Chevalier is what makes it probably, but...
I mean, yeah, I think
for
it's
sure.
fun, and like everybody wants to be a cat. Is, you know, great.
I
song.
love the geese.
Yeah, classic song, yeah.
It's enjoyable, but like, Marie is one of those characters that like I don't get why she's so popular. And
It's a cute girl cat.
I guess, but you know, it's one of those things that I'm like, I don't want things with Marie on it. I don't know. You see her a lot of things,
Yeah.
a lot of things, in a lot of places, and I'm like, I don't get it.
Or Toulouse and Berlioz.
That's what I was going to say. Marie, everyone here at least, everyone knows Marie because she's cute and they use her everywhere here, but no one can tell you what movie she's from.
Yeah. My personal favorite
What
character
I-
in this movie, though, Roquefort the Mouse. Roquefort the Mouse is great. Love him.
So like, I watched this, I don't know, within the past couple of years, and I was like, I didn't even remember this mouse was in it.
Oh, I love Roquefort.
Like, I just kind of remembered there were cats, and like, they had a jazz number.
There was a Roquefort pin, and there was the cast member had it on the lanyard. And I was like, "Can I trade you for the Roquefort pin?" They're like, "What?" It's like Roquefort the Mouse. He's like, "What is that from?" He's like, "Aristocats." He goes, "Okay." Yeah. Number 36. Now, number 36, I don't like the movie. I really don't like the movie. It is at 36 purely for music. Tarzan.
Interesting.
Oh, I have that pretty high. I really like Tarzan.
Oh, I don't like the movie at all. I don't like the characters. The animation I don't even like. The music I think is what makes it.
It's really
36.
the music is really good. I love
Collins,
like
man.
the Tarzan show at Animal Kingdom.
Tarzan rocks.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I have that at 11. I have that at 11. I really like the movie and the message of that movie. The family is not blood, because that's a very important message I think in life.
Yeah. I just don't like. I think Turk
like
is
it.
a pretty unlikable character. I don't know.
I like that.
Yeah,
I don't
music-
disagree with that.
Are there
Elephant.
Yeah.
Turk and Tantor are really just there as comic relief, though, a lot of the time.
But
they're
they
there to
need
be
to
funny.
be good. Like, you can't just have comic relief for the sake of comic relief. Like, you have to write
Well,
the
yeah,
it's like
characters well, you know?
comics.
I
And
don't-
that's a problem a
I
lot of
don't
these,
disagree,
like, 30
yeah.
through 58 movies, I think, have.
Music's great. I like the animation, but it's not a good version of Tarzan in any real way, I think.
People remember Tarzan because of the music, because it has Phil Collins did such an incredible job with that film. That's why people remember Tarzan.
People are going to be mad. Number 35, Hercules.
Hercules is one of my favorite Disney films, like top 5 Disney films. I do also want to know who went into a meeting and was like, let's do Greek mythology, Hercules, but with gospel music. And they were like, yes, that's genius.
But the
Let's
thing
do
is,
that.
here's the thing. Unlike the board meeting with Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hercules actually turned out great.
I love
like
Hercules.
that is
The
such a
music is
good
great.
movie.
It's a fun story, and now I love mythology. So like nothing in Hercules is right. Nothing.
Correct, yeah.
His name is wrong. Hercules is the Roman name, and it is taking place in Greek. Like everything about it is wrong. But as someone who likes
Don't
mythology,
spoil
I
it
like
for
all
me.
the random little like characters that they've thrown in and randomly mentioned. And I love Hercules a lot. I'm done.
Plus, Danny DeVito.
Danny's not good in that movie. Phil is not a great character.
Oh, I like Phil.
The music,
all-
it's
I
another
love
one where the
it.
music makes the movie, and it's definitely funny. I don't know, it feels out of place in the pantheon of films. It just doesn't,
Love it.
I don't know, it's kind of like Emperor's New Groove.
It's
It just feels out of
fantastic,
place. It's certainly better than Emperor's New
It's
Groove.
got a great, strong female
I-
character.
I really feel like
What?
Hercules feels more like a Disney film than Emperor's New Groove does.
I know,
as
it
much as
does.
I love
That's
that.
why I ranked it 4
Oh,
higher.
definitely, yeah.
3 higher, whatever it is.
I'm trying to figure out what other movies are missing now, because I'm like, I feel like it's a little too low for me.
Okay.
It's one of my favorites. I just want to watch this. Was super excited. I'm going to go back and watch the cartoon.
Oh, the cartoon's
Yeah.
awful.
But see, as like, I like mythology, and I like.
I don't
even though
dislike mythology.
it's all wrong. Like, I find that entertaining. Taking something and like twisting it. I liked I watched the Hercules live action show as a kid and Xena and stuff. I was always really into like Greek mythology things. So
Okay.
even though it's really inaccurate as something that's not real, anyways, but I love Hercules.
People are now trying to discredit. People are like, Cars is Tom's favorite Pixar movie.
It is.
I didn't
so
say it's
really,
the best.
His taste is.
This is not.
questionable.
I tried to rank things based on quality, not so much how much I love them. That was the thing. Like, I like Hercules a lot. I just don't think it's a great movie. I think the music's very
Okay.
good.
I wouldn't. Hercules is not like a great movie.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, the best one, Disney film, but it is definitely one of my favorites.
Here's the thing. I just came up to one movie that I noticed that we haven't said yet. And without knowing anything about mythology or anything like that, I feel like Hercules is much better of a movie than Oliver and Company.
No.
Just gonna throw that out there.
Nope.
Like, it's more entertaining than that movie.
Nope.
We're gonna have another fight when Oliver and Company comes out, but Hercules, it's middle of the road, funny. decent music. Meg is one of my favorite female characters they've ever done. I think it's fine. It's not amazing, but it's good. Very good.
Yeah, we're in the middle here. I mean,
One of my favorites.
number
I think there's other-
34.
Hercules is another one of the.
What?
They did a Hercules.
Oh, I was just gonna say Hercules is. Sorry, Colleen.
I was just gonna say they did a Hercules musical on the Disney cruise back in the day, and I think they only have 3 muses in the musical, but they do that like in the Muppets, where like one of the muses is sick, and so there's like a random guy filling in. I'm done. It's just I love it.
Okay.
What were you gonna say, Spencer?
I was just gonna say that Hercules is another one of those films where the cast really holds up. I like Danny DeVito. I really think James Woods works spectacularly as
Hades is
Hades.
great.
Hades is my
Tate
favorite.
Donovan.
One of the best villains they've ever done. Yeah.
Tate Donovan, Susan Egan, Rip Torn, like all the people that they cast for that movie just fit their roles really well. And I think that the casting and the music in particular are really what make that movie great.
Number 34, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. So I don't like the movies where there are several different stories, but I mean, both of these are legendary. Everyone knows Headless Horseman. Everyone knows Mr. Toad. And they're both in one film. I mean, there's a reason these live on even long. I mean, against all the other ones, people don't really remember half the stuff in those other ones, like Melody Time and all of that. That being said, I haven't mentioned Melody Time yet, but we'll talk about why later. But
I don't even think of this as a package film half the time in my mind, just because it's two coherent, longer stories. And yes, Headless Horseman is a classic, and I think everybody knows that. But I think if it wasn't for Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, we would have forgotten about the Wind in the Willows section.
No, you're right. I think that drove a lot of people to see it, though, too. I think it has promotionally done a lot for this movie that otherwise would be forgotten. Number 33, Robin Hood.
I love Robin Hood.
Yeah, I love Robin Hood, too.
Robin Hood would also be in like my top 5, but I mean, it's not like an amazing
The animation
film.
hurts it. It's not pretty.
No.
It's fine. But I mean,
Good
I love
music,
it. It's one of my
good story, a
favorites.
lot of really likable characters.
Yeah.
Like you like the villain, you like all the good guys. Like you want everyone to end up where they end up. Someone call her.
Hello?
Are the phone lines open?
I don't know if they ever shut them off.
I don't think so. Random people call us.
Okay.
Well, they went away.
Well, good morning to whoever that was.
All right. So yeah, number
I
33,
have this
Robin
really-
Hood.
I have this.
Ron, you're
I
getting
don't
real
think it's-
low. I can't even hear what you're saying.
I have this at 47. I don't
Oh, okay.
like this movie much at all. I don't have I don't think it's horrible, but I'd rather watch Prince of Thieves any day, honestly, or even the Mel Brooks one.
Anyone else?
No.
I mean, I
think
think I
it's
watched it
good.
recently,
Yeah.
and it was like, I love Robin Hood. I always loved Robin Hood, but I did
Yeah.
watch it and be like, this is not an amazing film. Like, I really enjoy it. I always liked Robin Hood as a kid, just in general.
Yeah.
So it's definitely one of my favorites. It's not like it's incredible. See, I keep being like Eric said, like I'm like, what movies are left?
Yeah.
Because maybe I would rank this low, but I don't know because I don't remember all 58 movies.
Wow.
No, I have a list and I'm scrolling, but I'm like, have we talked about this one? I don't think so.
What's next?
Next would be number 32, which is Melody Time.
This is the one that I got bored.
This is the one you got bored? I love Melody
Because
Time.
it's I remember it was Johnny Appleseed, which I thought was weird, and then I don't know what I was watching that I was like,
There's some stuff in here I really, really love. I think Pecos Bill is one of the greatest shorts ever made by any animation company. I think the song is fantastic. I think the visuals are cool. I just love that. Blue Shadows on the Trail's good too. Little Toot is very, very adorable. I love that. Johnny Appleseed's a classic, even though you were bored with it.
No, that wasn't the one I got bored. I just remember that one specifically, and I thought it was odd how religious it was for like.
Yeah.
I was whatever comes after that, I got bored.
I didn't realize Blue Shadows on the Trail was chosen by the Western Writers of America as one of the top 100 Western songs of all time. That's pretty cool. Once Upon a Winter Time is one of my favorite segments in any movie also. It's really beautiful. This is a lot of talented people, great music. It's a really good collection. This is the one of the anthology films that I love the most, for sure. Mostly for Pecos, but there's a lot of other good stuff in here.
I don't remember everything in this. I'm gonna be honest. Pecos I remember. Johnny Appleseed I remember.
Eric, you're frozen. I can hear you, but you're just...
Here's a frozen face. The talking still.
Am I still frozen? Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, you moved.
You'll be all right.
Again. It's fine. We can hear you.
Anyone have anything to say about Melody Time? No?
No.
No, it's just in the middle of the package films for me. Well, it's actually the highest except for Three Caballeros.
Okay. Number 31, Cinderella.
Wow.
Cinderella that low?
Cinderella is boring.
I just watched Cinderella for the first. I watched Cinderella for the first time last week, and I agree with Tom. It's boring.
It's a classic. Yeah, isn't that sad? Like, I love the mice, and I like segments of it, but like, it just, some of it's so boring. Like, I want things have to happen in this film at some point. It's how I feel when I watch Cinderella.
I like Cinderella.
Most of the chat is like, yeah.
I would have put Cinderella high. I'm in a Cinderella dress. I'm wearing Cinderella ears today. I would have put Cinderella probably in like the top
Someone
10.
said Sleeping Beauty above Cinderella. Yeah, Sleeping Beauty above Cinderella.
Yeah, I don't like Sleeping Beauty.
I have Cinderella
What?
at number 15.
Sleeping Beauty. Well, we'll get to Sleeping Beauty.
It's going to be a while.
I like Cinderella.
I have this at number 15 just because of impact and a few memorable scenes, but I think it's the impact that really
It is
made me put
Cinderella,
it that
but
high.
I don't know. Someone said not enough explosions. Come on.
Not a lot of
It's just another save the company kind of film. That's why I think I had to put it
Yeah, I
higher.
get that. It's at 31. It's right in the middle. I mean, I don't know. It's just not super interesting.
The music is why that movie is. The music and the fact that everyone has seen it and you have the castles is why everyone remembers that movie.
I love the mice. I really
Laura
love the
is
mice.
a worse character. I don't know any trait about Cinderella other than she cries. That's all I know about her.
Clean.
She cleans. Oh, what a step forward for female equality.
Nice
She
to
cleans and she
people.
cries. Man.
She's in more than 16 minutes of the film.
Never mind, I'm not gonna touch
What does
it.
that mean?
Aurora's in 16 minutes of Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah,
has
she doesn't have to be in
16
more of it.
lines.
It accomplishes the film.
I like Cinderella. I would.
But those 16 lines, though, will I see you again? No, never. Like, that's great, though. All right. How about tomorrow? No. All right. Number 30, The Great Mouse Detective. It's a cute film. I like it. Radigan, Vincent Price's Radigan is fantastic. There's some good songs. It's a really fun movie to watch. Like, it stays interesting the whole way through. People forget about it. It's not crazy memorable, which is why it's here. But I think when you watch it, you're like, oh, I forgot how good that movie is.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun, and I love a good Sherlock Holmes adaptation.
Yeah. No one?
I got it lower just because I don't think I saw it till it's one of the last ones I ever actually saw.
Okay.
For a classic. I didn't see it till my 30s. So I got it at 43.
Yeah, I think that's a good place for it.
Okay. Number 29, Oliver and Company. I love Oliver and Company. I can't watch Good Company without crying. Like, that's the song that gets me because it's a girl singing to her cat, and that's what gets me. I don't care about people, but this girl singing to her cat is, I think, the most touching thing possibly in any Disney movie, at least for me. There's fun characters, great music. I mean, Billy Joel, and it's just, it's very, very good. If the animation was a little prettier, this would be higher on the list for me. But I love Oliver and Company. I think vastly underrated, really fun, enjoyable movie.
I don't have an opinion
I've got it at 56.
on it.
Where do you have it?
56.
Oh, come on.
I really don't.
56.
It's too 80s. It's so 80s. I know it's better than that. I just dislike it personally. That's why it's that low. I usually like Billy Joel. I just don't like the music. I just don't know why I dislike this one. I just do.
Okay.
And like I said earlier, I think Hercules is better than this one, so I'm gonna stick with that one.
Agreed.
Eric, you're
It's middle of
frozen
the
again.
road.
Just leave him alone. We can hear him. Number 28, Pocahontas.
That's gonna be fun when you get to that.
Music.
Mm.
All music. I
Forgot we didn't
love
say
the
this one
music, and I
before.
think animation-wise, one of the prettiest movies they've ever made. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. So I think the story is not great, but the music I think is phenomenal. I think that's why, even though people don't care for the movie, the music keeps ending up all over the place because the music's so memorable. And again, I think it's just such a beautiful movie. The colors, the animation style. It was also like it stood out. Like the animation style is different enough from everything to that point. Yeah, just really, really pretty movie with a lot of good music. That's all I can really say for it.
Yeah, that's about the same, I'd say. I have it at 32.
I probably would have had it lower. Like, it's fine.
I would have had it lower too. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. But yeah,
Pocahontas would be
great.
like-
the songs are memorable.
Yeah.
It would be like mid to low 40s for me, I think. I don't like Pocahontas very much. There's a lot of
Neither do
films that we've already talked about that are better than Pocahontas.
Yeah, as much as I try to, like, I'm trying to think of this without thinking of the songs, because there's a lot of movies that we put in the bottom that I sing, that I remember the songs a little bit more than any of the ones up top. But yeah, no, I would have had this lower.
And I might
Thanks,
honestly,
everyone.
I might have this and Hunchback lower on my personal list, but I'd be sleeping on the couch if I actually had to put those where I would on the list because Laurel loves them so much.
Okay. Number 27, 101 Dalmatians. I like this movie. I just think I don't know. It's not as interesting as it should be. Obviously, the Cruella de Vil song is great. I've never really cared for the animation style where you can like see the pencil lines and stuff. I don't know. I know it was a style choice, but I'm not crazy about it. There's some really great characters and the song, and it's a likable. It's a Great Mouse Detective. It's likable. It's a good story. It's more well known, and that's kind of why. And it's more of a classic, which is why it's 3 spots ahead. But it's a solid story. Has really fun characters. A great villain. 1 or 2 songs you'll remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like 101 Dalmatians. And yeah, I mean, Cruella de Vil is a great song and a great villain, and it's a fun job.
Someone wrote she has nice feet.
Creepiest comment of the day.
God.
I've got it in the exact same spot, Tom. It's the Xerox style I really dislike. I know you couldn't have made this movie without it, but yeah, I can't say anything else other than it's not a pretty film.
Yeah. Number 26, Winnie the Pooh.
Now, you talking about the new one?
What is this?
Yeah, this is the new one.
Okay. I haven't seen it actually, so can't comment.
The new it's actually it's a wonderful
It's
film.
very
It's
cute.
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, I love these characters. I think they're the I don't know. They're the cutest characters. People love them. People fall in love with them for good reason. And I thought I was really worried going into it because they recast a lot of characters, and I was concerned. But it feels like it's a really genuinely great Winnie the Pooh story. It's the prettiest of the Winnie the Pooh movies. The animation's beautiful. This is actually the last hand-drawn movie, not Princess and the Frog, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
How did I forget that?
Yeah, and so
People forget about
John
this movie a
Lasseter
lot.
believed that they should do this,
Yeah.
and I agree. They're characters that everyone loves. They're very Disney, and there's endless
They're gonna
stories you can
sell
tell, and they're
merch.
always interesting, I think. But there's great music. It's really, really pretty. The casting ended up being great. I know a lot of people sleep on this movie because they didn't go see it in theaters. It tanked, but I really like it.
Well, they
also
opened it against like
Because
the
it
last
opened on
Harry.
the same weekend as the last Harry Potter movie. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say
When
that.
you-
Yeah.
It was a mistake. It was a large
No,
mistake.
I think that was a purposeful mistake. I think the studio itself wanted to kill the hand drawn, and then they could use that to show that it's not going to compete. It was a bad move. But I have this right below the original one, at 20 and 21, because I think it fits so well with that, and it's hard to, other than the affection for the classic, I think it fits just right in with it.
Yeah. All right, number 25, Fantasia 2000.
How would I put
Lower
Yeah.
where?
That's about right.
kind of fine?
Oh, the animation is some of the best. I mean, just so pretty. I think of the Firebird. Oh my God.
Pines of Rome is so gorgeous.
They are
I
a couple
love
of the
silent-
numbers fall flat, I think, is what hurts this movie. But I think otherwise it's so pretty and works so well at times that it ends up at 25.
I met Donald and Daisy
I-
in their That's like
Okay.
my Fantasia 2000 memory.
I think one of the things that hurts it the most is just repeating a segment. I know that gets people into the theaters for it,
Yeah.
but I have it at 30. I think it's gorgeous. I like the music choices more than the original, honestly.
Yeah.
And I will be right back because someone just woke up from their nap.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember everything in here. Yeah, fire. It ends with the Firebird suite, which is the right choice because that's one of the greatest pieces of animation I think ever made. Pomp and Circumstance with Daisy and Donald is very cute. Yeah, having Sorcerer's Apprentice again was a weird choice.
Mm-hmm.
The Yo-Yo
Well, like Ron
Flamingos
said,
is
it-
good.
Sorcerer's
love that.
Apprentice got people into theaters. I mean, it was going to happen.
Yeah, but it's just a re-release. It's not gonna. I don't know if that got people.
Well,
in
I mean,
theaters. Having Donald and Daisy
If-
was the thing to get people in theaters. I think.
Mm-hmm.
maybe if they had, I guess this could be considered sacrilege because it's such a classic, but if they had redrawn Sorcerer's Apprentice for the film, that might have been more interesting.
Maybe. All right, here's what we're going to do now. We're going to take a short break. But first, before we do that, because we still have 24 to go, I want to remind people, if you're enjoying what we're doing, all this programming we're doing every day, there's two ways you can support what we're doing. Number one is to become a member of our WIGS program, the WDWNT Inner Globe Society, which you can join at patreon.com/WDWNT. For just $2 a month, you get access to post shows for Park Center and WDW News Tonight. You get access to Jason scanning in high-res versions of all sorts of old Walt Disney World paper and collectibles and stuff that you can download. As well, you get early registration to events and stuff when we get to have those again in a couple months. And yeah, so it's a great way to support us and get stuff in return. That's patreon.com/WDWNT. Or there's also the super chat right there on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, any amount you want to donate, you can there via the super chat. And thank you for your support. There you go. I'm going to give everyone a minute. If you want to put up the logo for a minute, We'll be back in a minute or two, and we'll finish off this countdown list. I'm going to give everyone a bathroom break for a moment.
We're on break, and I'm not frozen anymore.
Back. Hey everybody, we're coming back. I got some peanut M&Ms from Halloween last year. Great. Remember when you can go to theme parks and get candy? That was the thing.
Am
All
I
right.
frozen again?
What was that?
Am I frozen again?
Yeah.
Oh,
Now
I
you're
wasn't
moving.
right before we left.
You're moving. All right. I'm eating candy because I know I'm just going to let Scott rant for 15 minutes after I say this one. Number 24, The Little Mermaid.
Are you serious? That's baloney. That is baloney. I don't know what to say. That's such astounding. That's so astounding. I don't know what to say. It's my number one
I can
film.
understand this.
That's your number one?
No way. That's my number one. I love Little Mermaid. Timeless classic.
I don't think it holds up and when I watch it as much. The music's still amazing, but I think it's the impact again that really propels it into that top 10 area, at least just the impact of it.
Yeah. It's a good movie. I'm just not crazy. The music is obviously amazing. It's beautifully animated. I don't know. The story at times I'm kind of like, oh, she can't talk, and now there's another woman, and I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair.
I disagree. It's about longing.
Is she not right?
It's about the passion and longing to be a part of something that you wish to be a part of. That's something different.
I get that.
Whatever,
I just
Tom.
don't care for like all the
Whatever.
twists and turns of after she gets the leg. Eric's losing. Eric, you might
I'm
be muted. I don't know.
Oh, am I muted too? Oh man.
I don't know. You were
No.
laughing hysterically, so I just figured there should have been a sound to that.
I agree with Tom, but at the same time, I also feel like it should be a little higher. She's one of my favorite princesses, but at the same time, yes, I do see all of the faults of this movie, so I guess I'm okay.
Yeah, it's not a perfect movie. I think it has its problems, but I think the music is beautiful. It's really well animated at times. It has a lot going.
Oh, it's
for it.
beautiful. It's beautiful. It was the last one they did with cells. I think it's gorgeous. It's my favorite movie. I really think it's timeless. Not my favorite movie, but like my favorite Disney movie.
How does the guy in the funny hat feel about Little Mermaid?
I can't comment on this movie. I was in the musical. It holds too much nostalgic value for me.
Oh, I forgot about Spencer's stint on Broadway. Forgot about that.
I kind of felt
Were you Flounder? What were you?
real hype was
No, the whole show.
I-
like,
floundered.
we're into girls being like, I want to be a mermaid. Like, I wanted to be a mermaid when I was 8. But all these adult women.
Her
being
arc
like,
is
"I wanna
also
be a
just like,
mermaid."
I want to be human. And their dad's like, no. And then she's like, but I want
I'm
to.
gonna do it anyways.
And then she gets it, but then in the process, she almost kills everybody
Yeah.
because she got legs. And then in the end, it's just like, kids need to be free to live their own lives. And it's like, okay. It's like,
like,
yeah, I almost killed everybody and I got what I wanted.
I'm not a child anymore. It's like, you're 16. You are.
Yeah.
And
I was never.
Let's just go into how
it's
bad-
Fine. Like, it's cute and the music is great, but I was never into it.
Like I always say,
for
just complain until you get things.
That is not
How
what it's
bad?
about. You're so full of it, Tom. You're so full of it.
how
Oh,
bad of a king Triton is to let this evil person just right outside his kingdom prey on his subjects that he
What are you gonna
obviously
do,
has the power to
execute
get
her?
rid of her. Yes.
Yeah.
What do you
She's
The,
literally
okay, the
torturing and
musical.
stealing the souls. of his
Ron,
subject.
okay, Ron, the musical goes more into why there's that dynamic between Triton
Which
and
is why
Ursula.
people hated the musical and it lasted 5 minutes on Broadway.
They fixed the musical. They redid it.
Yeah,
and now
they
it's
took it
better.
off
Like,
Broadway. That fixed things for sure.
They did it like, I think it was like 4 years after the musical closed. They went back and basically rewrote half of it, and it holds up a lot better now. I wish they'd bring it back.
I don't think.
I just want Scudder to sing human stuff.
It's not. Being human is an allegory for passion and wanting something that's just beyond your reach.
But then, and almost sacrificing everyone around you, making a selfish decision.
Because it's not about selfishness. She didn't know that things were going to happen that way, and she was tricked by an evil person, which happens in life sometimes. You know, we all make mistakes, and sometimes we have to deal with horrible consequences. It's not about. I mean, it's a fable. Let's also not discount that fact. It's not.
Yeah,
there are cracks. There are cracks in it, of course, but it's a fable, an allegory for wanting something more than what your life has, and trying to get to where you can't go.
Yeah.
She was a teenager as well.
All right, who's ready for more yelling? Number 23, Moana.
All right, Tom, I'm going to leave. I really am going to leave.
This should have been lower.
Are you out of your mind, Spencer? This is in my top 10. I love this movie.
Moana has... Moana is pretty, but the music is not... No, it's not there.
The music
breaks that movie for me.
Baloney. I call baloney. The mixture of...
same.
Modern, the mixture of modern tones with the Polynesian, I don't even know if that's the right word, Polynesian, the island sounds. I disagree. I think it's
the music's
Here's
great.
the thing.
Yeah.
The story is too predictable. It's too predictable.
There's severe pacing problems.
The pacing for sure. Shiny derails the whole film. It just feels like the whole thing goes off track at that point. But then, of course, put the heart back. Yeah, she turns back into Tafiti. Yeah, okay, we got it. We knew that the first 2 minutes of the film. Thank you. But the characters are fun. It's good. I didn't understand,
it's a message.
Pooh was in the movie just to sell merchandise. Pooh is not even a main character.
That was you see Pooh on everything, and then it was suddenly
Hey-Hey's the one on the boat. I'm like, what? You didn't even market this chicken at all.
I got so mad about that.
That came out of Moana was this really short thing with Alan Tudyk where he's just making chicken sounds, and then he's like, I went to Juilliard.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I disagree completely. It's about the journey. You take the big muscle hero trope and you turn it on its head where he has a sensitive side and he's really insecure. That was a great thing.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's number 23.
I'm just saying why I have it in my top 10. I love this movie.
I just think it has some issues.
I will agree about Shiny. I will say it kind of disagrees. It derails. And he could have been a cool villain, but then he has a kind of a silly song.
Oh, Maui's the villain, so...
I disagree about that. Maui's flawed. Maui is supposed to be like Hercules, but he's flawed and he's not perfect, and that's the whole point of it. And the
Maui's
journey
the reason
about
why we did this movie. If he didn't do anything in the beginning,
because he's flawed. Because he
redeems himself, though. He's not the villain.
Yes, despite being a demigod, he's only human. And then that's the thing. It's about redemption, not only of Maui, but about we saw Taka becoming Tafiti coming. Okay, but it's still about the fact that there's no final boss.
Of The Rock singing, and someone chimes in, The Rock sang better than Emma Watson, though.
I agree with that.
True.
Who said that?
I'm not going to argue that.
I can't even pronounce. Center. I don't know. I can't even say the name.
I really enjoyed Moana.
Senre?
I'm I don't know where I would have necessarily put it, and I'm sure.
It's in my top 10. I think it's one of the. I think it's a great classic. Again, it's a parable. I love the fact that the problem, the villain is, or the issue is not solved with violence. It's solved with acceptance, which is what the movie's about. You know, it's about the journey. It's about accepting yourself. It's about accepting peace, and I love the movie. I love this one. I love The Little Mermaid. Tom's out of his mind. I had your back on Meet the Robinsons, but I don't have.
Definitely in my top 15.
Early 20s.
Here's the thing about Moana. The opening of the movie, up until the We Know the Way, the Lin-Manuel Miranda song, that whole with
Miranda song.
The one where he actually sings. Because you've got the opening song where the Where We Are. You've got How Far I'll Go, and you've got We Know the Way. Those are the only memorable songs. I hate You're Welcome. I think it's stupid.
Oh, I like You're
Shiny.
Welcome.
We all agree on it.
That movie.
We all agree on
but
the
you can't
fact
say
that
that
Shiny is
because
bad.
you don't like them.
I don't know if
they
Shiny
are
is bad. It's
memorable.
out of place. I don't know if it's bad.
I love You're
Yeah.
Welcome. The drums underneath the. No, I disagree.
You're Welcome's a good song.
The first
And
act
it's the
of
best
the
parody
movie
we've ever done.
is great, but the problem is the other parts of the movie. It has so many. We talked about this. It has pacing issues. It's so predictable. I can't put this movie any higher than like low 39.
No
would
way.
probably be
No.
where I would put this movie.
Mm-mm.
I can't stand Moana. And the problem is How Far I'll Go is great. Now, Lily Carvalho is a great singer and a great actress, but it's the only song she sings, and they should have used her more.
So it's not. First of all, she sings throughout the entire movie. She has reprises of that song because it's a theme going throughout the whole
Yeah.
movie.
I'm sorry. Yes. Let's sing the same song 3 times. Yes, that's
It's called reprises.
Yeah,
It happens.
it's
You were in a
pretty common.
musical.
You
You
have,
know what
like-
it is.
You can
You know
have
what it is.
reprises, but you should also have other songs.
There's plenty
You
of
have-
songs.
You should have
Plenty
other
of songs. You should have
For
plenty
her
of
to
songs.
sing?
No, that's her anthem. That's what it's supposed to be
She is
about.
the main. She is the main character. She should have more than one song with 2 or 3 reprises.
How many? What about Sleeping Beauty had "Once Upon a Dream"? I can't remember any other song she sang. You know, it's her
Ariel
I'm
only
not
has one
dismissing
song,
that.
doesn't she?
Ariel only sings "Part of Your World." That's her anthem. That's her core. That's what makes up her being. You don't
it's not
need a new
abnormal
song.
to have only one song.
If anything, I think. the
Yes,
fact
but
that
Ariel
they-
Does
also
Belle
only reprises
sing
Part
again
of Your
after
World once.
Belle?
That's the other. Something
the-
there.
Something there.
something there.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, but still only one
Those
more.
2 seconds.
Yeah, I don't
She
know.
has a whole verse. Anyway, the point is like
point is
Part
bad.
of Your World is different because she has one reprise. It's very short, but with How Far I'll Go, it's like what 3 times.
But it's throughout the whole movie, though, in
It's
different,
throughout
in different portions
yeah.
of the movie. So it
It's not
makes that
like it's
theme
like-
that,
About going far. The reprise of the song are throughout the journey of the movie. I love
I'm
Moana.
with Scott
We're
on
getting
that
off track.
one.
We're getting off track, but I love Moana.
and she
I
sings
think
the
it's
one
of
that
the best.
she knows who she is as well, which is, they changed the verses, sure, but yeah, I don't agree with that, Spencer. Where are you?
Number 22, Mulan.
I'm leaving. I'm out.
Scott's leaving.
Oh,
The music is great, but I have a feeling I'll be able to understand where you come from on this one.
Scott, get
honestly.
your crotch off the TV. Scott's like, here's what I think. Here's what I think of your list.
Yeah.
Your list
Mulan
can
is-
suck it.
Yeah, my-
God. I love Mulan. It's a great movie. I just don't know that
Bye,
it's.
Colleen.
I don't know. I don't
It's my
care
number-
about her though. I don't know.
How could you not?
I love the music. I love the visuals. I love some characters. I think the comic relief's really good. Yeah, I don't know. The story, the villain's kind of eh. He looks
the villain
cooler
is
than
kind
he
of
is.
but the story is so great. I mean, especially it's so
good.
much. It deals with so many themes, and it's so much. I don't want to say darker than it gets serious without straying from Disney. It's like it's about war and about sacrifice and honor in the face of adversity.
Yeah,
I love this movie. I love this. Tom, the last 3 movies you named are all in my top 10. I love this movie so much. Again, it's not my number 1. Mermaid was my number 1. Mulan's number 3. I love Mulan herself. It's about sacrifice in the face of adversity. I just said that, but I guess that's really all I have to say about it.
The thing about Mulan's villain is that the story is, it's the man versus society trope. It's not, the villain is the restriction that Mulan is a woman and can't, thus is not worth being a soldier. It's not, the villain is not the dude trying to kill everyone. It's the obstacles in society. Yeah.
Shan Yu and his bird.
You call it a trope, but how often was that trope or something like that trope ever discussed by Disney? Never.
No. Well, here's the thing. It's a trope because you have like man versus man, man versus nature, man versus self, man versus, like, that's just
not a trope.
It's the basic storyline. Thank you. Sorry. Sorry. It's the theme that you don't see it a lot in a Disney film, and that's what makes Mulan special.
I think Mermaid's better than Mulan. That's all I have to say.
That's what people are saying.
I do too.
I'm like, I don't know.
I do too. Don't get me wrong. Mermaid's my number 1.
No, this is mostly just love for 98 Degrees is what's happening.
Yeah.
And Stevie Wonder.
Michael Eisner's favorite band, 98 Degrees. Scott doesn't even remember that anymore.
Oh, I
True
do.
to Your Heart, like, that's not even in the movie. That song always confused me because it's not in the movie, and for some reason they made it the
song.
pop
It's the credit song. Most of these movies have a credit-only song.
Yeah.
When I think about like the songs from the
movie and made a pop version.
No, because like even before this, you had A Whole New World at the end of Aladdin. You have Beauty and the Beast at the end. You have Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Like that had already been a thing, and then they just randomly created True to Your Heart.
Trend. It's not necessarily
a
Disney thing. It's a thing.
It was just the time.
No, it's a thing you do. You make songs that you want on the soundtrack, and because they don't fit in the movie, you just put them over the credits. Princess and the Frog has that.
Everything.
Hunchback, I believe.
A bunch of them. All right. Number 21, The Sword and the Stone. I love The Sword and the Stone very much. Is it the greatest movie? No. It's like my guilty pleasure one, though. It's the one I'll watch the most often, probably. Characters are really likable. I like the story. There's some really great sequences, a lot of heartfelt animation. I still, like, it's hard to watch that squirrel sequence where he breaks that poor girl squirrel's heart. Really, a lot of emotion there. Beautiful animation that captures that. And it's a really cute, well done movie. I love it. Great music. Yeah.
I
personally love it, but I put it pretty low on my list at 44.
There is no villain. The conflict is weird.
Yeah, there isn't a villain.
It's just kind of like
it's growing up.
We're gonna have cute sequences, and you're a squirrel.
I like the squirrel. I like the fish
it's cute. Like it's.
I like this movie a lot. It's one of my favorite classics. I'm with Tom on that one.
Number 20, Dumbo. I think what keeps Dumbo away from like the top 10 is it's really short. But everything in it is memorable. I mean, everyone remembers Casey Jr. Everyone knows Pink Elephant's on Parade. I think just for historical significance and it's one of the movies I think people most associate with The Company. is Dumbo, and everyone knows the basic story. Like, you can talk to anyone. People who haven't seen the film know the story, just because it's out there because of Disney's animated version. It's what there is of this movie is very cute, really touching, great music, beautiful animation, a really good story. Just a little short, I think, is the thing that hurts it.
I mean, it was. I was actually prepping a Drawn from the Vault for this before I just decided I don't have time to do the series because it's so long. Because I already did like 20 or 30 hours of research into this, and it was based off a book, but a book that never really came out. So it's almost an original. It's like almost their first original story.
Yeah.
In that way, because they expanded so much on it, and it was done so cheap compared to the others. So I mean, you got to forgive it for being short, but it is memorable. It is likable. And yes, it's got some issues at the end, but I'm always going to defend the crow scene for the fact that that wasn't something that they brought in an actual, black group at the time to model that after. It wasn't to be mocking anybody. It was something that existed at the time that they were trying to replicate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pink elephants on parade is always something I don't know. It fits in the movie, but it also feels like it throws it off for me a little bit just because it's so wildly different from the rest of the film, I guess.
Yeah, but it's a fantastic sequence, though.
Dumbo's weird.
It is. And of course it brings to mind what came later with Heffalumps and Woozles. But
I thought you were going to say
it's one of those weird... No. God, no. It brings to mind what came... Dear God, don't remind me of that. It brings to mind what came later with Heffalumps and Woozles, but it still feels a little disjointed despite how memorable it is.
Yeah.
I one of the other things that concerns me about Dumbo is the impact of it, because with a lot of these films that we talk about, we'll see a lot of the characters come out of it over time. But with Dumbo, we see Dumbo and sometimes Timothy. They don't really bring out anyone else from that movie except for Dumbo and sometimes Timothy. And I feel like that's a great disservice to the IP, honestly.
Wait, what?
I mean, other than the
like
Ringmaster
Casey
doesn't
Jr.
have a name.
Yeah.
What other characters from Dumbo do you want to appear?
What other characters are there?
They're all just
The mom.
elephants.
And clowns.
The mom would be useful.
Mrs. Jumbo? Okay.
Yeah.
To just be
Someone
hard
in the chat just put what on earth
brought
is
out.
Spencer
That's the whole
talking about?
point of her.
Someone, what is Spencer talking about? No one has any idea. Everyone's moving on. All right. Number 19, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It is not the most fantastic movie, but I think the fact that a movie made in 1937 is still relevant and people still watch it is insane, because I think even Turner Classic Movies has a hard time getting people to be interested in movies from the 1930s. And it is very much a 1930s movie. I mean, the animation style, the acting, but it remains relevant. I think that speaks for what a good story it was. The music being as good as it was, the animation being as pretty as it was. It is the definition of a timeless movie, and I think it's going to be hard for people to rank that in their top 10. I think as we go on, it's going to be harder to put yourself in the shoes of those characters emotionally and stuff. But I don't know. I think it says something that it's still as relevant as it is.
Let's you all have a fight while I'm in the middle of trying to record a lesson.
I just had the realization of the point I was trying to make with Dumbo, and I lost my way halfway through.
What was the point you were trying to make?
The point I was trying to make is that there's only the two memorable characters, and that's something that holds the movie back. I don't know why I said that there should be... Yeah.
Casey Jr.?
You said it. You said it the total opposite.
The Crows?
I did say the total. Keep in mind that
The
it is
pink
2:33 in the morning.
There's way more than two
Think
memorable characters.
But think about.
Well, but I think that's his point, that people
see.
just think of Timothy and Dumbo.
Casey Jr. is in like every Disney park.
Oh yes,
Casey Jr.
Disneyland.
Disney World?
Disneyland is every Disney
Disneyland
park.
Paris?
Yeah, we have Casey.
You guys have Casey
Yeah, we have it in
now?
Florida.
Yeah, but not the ride. We have the player, but it's still the train. I mean, Casey Jr. appears.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, back to
Back to the
What,
list.
Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah, Seven Dwarfs.
Someone said step off my TCM.
Seven Dwarfs.
I've watched a lot of TCM in my time. I'm just saying most people aren't interested in movies from the 1930s. Doesn't mean I am not, but people just aren't. Number 18,
I tried to push.
Aladdin.
Man, I don't want to see your top 10. I really don't.
Oh, Colleen's upset.
Oh no, I was just adjusting.
Oh, I
was
thought you were
laughing at
upset.
that. I mean, I really like Aladdin, but we are getting into like the top 20. Like,
Yeah.
you're all good.
Aladdin's my number 4. I love
Aladdin's on my
Aladdin.
top 5. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
Number 9 for me.
It doesn't
I
click
can't.
for me. I don't know why. I've never
Oh,
like Robin Williams is amazing, and obviously like the music is great, but otherwise I don't know. There's something about it that's just always. It's never been one of the ones I'm like always clamoring to watch. I respect the quality. I understand that it's a very good movie, which is why I have it at 18, but it just doesn't connect with me.
It's a good
I
comedy.
think-
It's a good adventure. It's a good story. It's a good romance. I think it hits all the things. It doesn't do any of them other than maybe Robin Williams being the best of what it does. But it's
Yeah, I just
still,
don't
it's in
know.
top 10. It's at number 9 for me.
I have it high. I think it's the quintessential parable about being who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Number
I can get behind
17,
that, yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Again,
Not above
that's my
Aladdin.
number 8.
I love Wreck-It Ralph. It's a great story. It's a lot of fun. It's a good message. I love the characters. We're in the top 17 now. It's going to be very hard.
I don't really like Wreck-It Ralph.
Ooh, now that I'm thinking about it,
said
not
that
above
already.
Aladdin and A Little Mermaid. And I'm building a Fix a Felix like arcade cabinet. So I love Wreck-It Ralph, but no, yeah, nah.
So there's
No,
uncultured. The uncultured people in the chat are saying Wreck-It Ralph is better than Bambi. They're already on me for this.
I think so.
We're going to get into a fight. at
Already on
Bambi.
me for my Bambi.
I agree. Wreck-It Ralph in this society with, it's mental health is such a big issue, and you have to love yourself, and it's about loving yourself and not caring about what society labels you as. It's a very important message wrapped up in video games. I think it's great.
Preach.
I love
It's very
it.
hard for me
I
to
love
like.
this movie.
Yeah. It's very hard for me to separate Wreck-It Ralph and Wreck-It Ralph 2. It sucks. Like it's on this list as well, kind of thing. And the fact that we get this whole journey with these characters and then in the second one they just throw it out, kind of like at that point I was just like, oh well, whatever. I guess these characters don't really care or don't even matter. Like, I don't know. That's all I have to
That's
say.
the
I
thing,
don't
though.
know.
You can't let a bad sequel. You can't let a bad
Yeah.
sequel drag down the original. Because if you did,
I
then
mean,
every
clearly.
movie they made a sequel with Disney Toon would just be bad. Like,
I mean, clearly,
Yeah.
Tom put Frozen 2 down in the 50s, and he hasn't mentioned Frozen 1 yet. So, obviously.
I think they
Yeah,
stand alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
definitely get that. I totally understand that.
Number 16, Tangled.
I loved
It's a great movie.
my second.
No, this is
It's
where
one
I
of
would
my
put it.
absolute.
Good music, good story, fun villain.
That'd be top 10 for me,
I don't have
think.
bad things to say about any movie left here. I mean, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's in my top 10.
I have it at number 7.
I just think that
it's one of the underrated of the newest ones. I think Frozen just somehow eclipsed it. I think it's a much better movie than Frozen. I like the characters more. I like the story. I think it's both heartwarming, personal, and an adventure. That's what really makes a good movie to me. There's got to be more story to it than just somebody's
all the characters
personal
are
realization.
Likable.
Yeah.
And
I don't get
I don't have anything bad to say about Tangle. I have nothing. I don't know.
I actually agree with Ron.
Jack.
I think Tangled is a better film than Frozen.
I
think the world
disagree.
disagrees.
I'm with Jacko.
Well, yeah.
He said Tangle is overrated.
They're both
Tangled is
wildly
overrated.
popular. One just became like a phenomenon. But people love both of these.
The thing about Tangled versus Frozen is the music is about the same level, honestly. I think that one of the things that really drags down the original Frozen is Olaf. We all talked about this at length already, that in the original Frozen, Olaf is bad.
The problem,
I really think
here's
that
the thing that I think we all do.
Oh.
I think everybody, like, Frozen became this phenomenon, and so everybody gets up in arms because it's been shoved down their throats. Here's the thing. I saw Frozen 2 weeks before it was released in theaters, and I recall looking at people next to me and going, this is going to be ginormous. Like, this is an amazing movie. And so no matter what I feel because of what's been done with it since, I have to remember how I felt when I sat there before I had heard anyone say anything about the movie, good or bad, and how everyone in that theater felt. And I think a lot of people are swayed by how tired they are of the franchise or whatever. But I'm trying to rank the quality of the movies, not, how much do I want to watch them right now or how fed up am I with them.
Well, don't get me wrong. I saw Frozen at opening weekend, and I loved it. And when I told everyone how great of a film it was, they're like, "Oh no, they didn't want to see it until it became popular."
Well, you are known to overhype things, so it's possible.
I quit.
Man, Spencer.
I think that one of the things, like I said, that drags down the original Frozen is Olaf. And I think Flynn Rider being the comedic relief and one of the protagonists at the same time, in the way they handled his comedy, I think it works so much better than Olaf, and it helps elevate the film
it's two different
a bit higher than Frozen.
Yeah.
It is two different types of comedy, and one of them works and one of them doesn't. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Number 15, Frozen.
There we go.
It's a great film. You can't knock it. Maybe Olaf is the weakest thing about it, but the rest is so good.
I was so excited
It's a
when
fantastic
I saw
film.
Frozen, and that true love wasn't about getting the boy. It was about sisters, and I was like, forget you, husband. My sister's here.
It's a nice break from the story's a nice break from the usual.
Yeah, he like literally
It is.
groaned. And it would probably be in like my top 10. Like I just really, and it gets really overhyped, which makes you be like, but it is such a good movie, and the story is different, and it is fun, and I actually remember watching it and being like, I didn't hate Olaf as much as I thought I was going to from like the trailers, which were just like him and Sven fighting over carrots, and I was like, God, this is going to be dumb.
Yeah.
Shannon and I have cosplayed as Anna and Elsa. When they started meeting people at Epcot, we waited in line like 3 hours.
I remember that.
It's definitely one of my favorites because I really like the sister story.
And a once in a lifetime movie soundtrack. I mean,
the music.
It's all great.
I will say I like Olaf. I've seen my biggest problem is, and I have it right about the same spot at 14, is I sometimes think the character animation was a little too generic looking for particularly the princesses.
Yeah.
Like the facial is a little too DreamWorks. So that might be one of the things that didn't. But I love the story. I love the characters. It's good all around. But I think there's definitely a lot better out there.
I mean, this is the
at
second
least-
to last CGI movie I have on this list.
That's the style they've moved towards, though.
It's
Is
not as
the
good.
kind of
You don't
DreamWorks
feel-
face.
It doesn't give you the emotion of a hand-drawn movie. It's unable. I don't think they're able to capture the same way. And I'm saying that I love the Pixar movies, but I still think there's something about hand-drawn animation that feels so much more intimate with your viewer. Number 14, The Princess and the Frog.
I love it.
Oh, Scott's not there. I was waiting for a Scott reaction.
Oh, I'm here. I heard.
That's why I came back.
I love
Baloney.
the music in Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
Like, I
More
can
than
sing
Frozen
Again,
for me.
all the time.
Yeah.
I think it has a great villain.
A good message that dreams don't just come true. You have to work for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really like
Number
Princess-
5.
I
for me.
love Dr. Facilier, but he's not in enough of the movie. I think it sucks because I think he could have been a lot better.
Yeah.
I think that's the only weak point in the film, really.
I
He's
think
one of
it's
my
a
favorites. Yeah.
masterpiece.
Someone
It's
said
at number
something
5 for me.
recently that like it's weird though because Dr. Facilier actually has like no conflict with Tiana,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh, that's true. I never thought about it.
Well, I think the analogy is here's this woman who's worked hard for everything she has, and still then it's hard to achieve things. And here's this guy trying to take the easy way. So they're just meant to like run alongside each other, sort of a parable more than have conflict with each other, I think.
Good movie.
I don't know why I don't have this higher. I have it at 24. I enjoy almost everything about this movie.
It's beautiful.
But I just think
I love this.
I don't know why it's here. I mean, I'm looking at other things I have above it, and I can see why they're above it.
Yeah.
So it's just, I'm in the point where it's just hard to say. And I think maybe its impact on things that it kind of gets shoved to the background so much, other than putting Tiana out there as the Black Princess.
Yeah, it
is
didn't
all
do
that
great.
it's remembered
It did
for.
okay.
But I will say, like,
it
if you're
didn't
on
do
the,
badly.
It did all right. It lost money for sure.
It did not do badly.
It lost
I'm pretty
money,
sure it
though.
made.
I mean, your goal is to make money.
Hold on, I'm not sure about that.
The budget was huge. It's hand-drawn.
And I think it
I
gets
mean, the
like
background on my
forgotten
phone
about because
is
then
Tiana
Frozen
with
came out,
Andy.
or then Rapunzel came out, and then Frozen came out.
Yeah, there was a lot of
so
hits
much better.
after it. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, I think it doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah, Ralph Tangled and Frozen. Yeah. Or Tangled, Ralph and Frozen, that order. Number 13.
maybe it's I don't like,
What was that?
maybe I don't like Randy Newman might be part of it.
Oh, I think he was the right choice. I mean, Randy Newman is New Orleans. I mean,
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, I just don't like his style. I get why the songs are popular. It's just not for me.
someone asked that was the last hand-drawn movie. No, Winnie the Pooh was the last hand-drawn movie. Number 13, Lilo and Stitch.
I love Lilo.
It's a great movie.
Again,
This is awesome.
that's my number 7. I have no idea what your top 10 is going to be.
We have it in 13.
Yeah, I think the only thing that holds it back is that like it works for the story, but no original music, like just using the Elvis stuff. It works, but
It's cute. You know,
it's a
minute.
great film. It is a really great film.
Princess
Somehow
and the
made
Frog.
during their worst period. They pulled this thing out.
I have to interject. Princess and the Frog made over 300 million. There's no way it is considered
What
a box office failure.
internationally, not domestically.
Domestically, it made 104 million.
Yeah, that's
and
not
then
good.
Worldwide, it made 2.
It's not.
Yeah, but it's not
Where in
a
the
failure. It made it.
Between
I mean,
marketing
budget,
and the
that is
budget, they
where-
lost money until home video.
There's no
We're in the
way.
near $1 billion. We're almost in that $1 billion area range at this time of these movies. Like,
Yeah.
it's not. It's short selling it by the
What did
company. We're
Tangled
not
do? Because
saying-
Tangled was considered a success. Let's see what Tangled's domestic
What?
box office was.
I'll get that up in just a
It was
second. Hold on.
much bigger.
And also look at the
initially
budget
later.
Tangled's Tangled's full box office was 592 million. but that's with international.
was double.
And it had a budget
Domestically,
of 260.
I mean, it made
it was one of the most
160 million
expensive
more
films they did,
in
I
the
think.
US. I mean, it's a giant amount.
But it also is more.
They're a year apart.
So yeah, Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, Tangled's domestic was 200 million.
Yeah.
So it's double in almost every respect. Yeah.
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 Yeah. But Tangled was also expensive. That was an expensive film.
The animation is
So was-
expensive.
Oh, yeah.
It's an expensive medium. So number 13, Lilo and Stitch. Number 12, Peter
Great.
Pan. No one even cares. Everyone's
Okay.
just like, yeah.
Peter
No,
Pan
I can
Peter
stand,
Pan.
I can stand by that,
It's
yeah.
in range.
It's kind of like Little Mermaid, and then it's become this weird, like, millennial overhyped thing. That, like, so I almost am like, ugh, Peter Pan, just because it's like Ariel, like, there's just all this stuff with Peter
Yeah.
Pan on it, and we're never gonna grow up.
I don't think it's overhyped though. I think it's been one of their most profitable franchises since the beginning.
I mean,
and
I
people
love,
loved
like,
it from the
Tinkerbell was
beginning.
always one of my favorite characters, and I like
Yeah.
murderous Tinkerbell and Peter Pan, not like nice Tinkerbell. Like Tinkerbell was trying to. kill
Mark
people.
Davis Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell, who's like, let's shoot that bitch down, that woman down.
Jesus. Got you on the
I
air
don't think
for a
we're in
minute
the
there?
watershed yet.
All right.
But no, it's Peter Pan. That's my favorite ride at Magic Kingdom.
It's timeless, and it is. What's amazing, I mean, it's a story that's been told a million different ways. But when you bring up Peter Pan to people, despite, and I mean like in a million great ways, I mean in tremendous musicals, I mean all sorts of wonderful ways, yet the first thing that pops into people's mind is the Disney animated movie, which to stand out in that crowd of movies and stage productions is insane. So you have to
And
be
we
a
could
pretty
also-
amazing film to do that.
And we could also look at how many other versions of this are that are just bad. That this is a good version of it really sells to. Like even like one of my favorites, Hook, is not necessarily a really good movie. It's a fun movie,
No,
but
no,
it's
no.
not.
It's a fun movie.
It's one of Spielberg's legitimately worst movies.
People love it. I love
It's a
it.
great movie.
I love.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
love that
love it.
movie.
I just. It's a guilty. It's more in that guilty pleasure range, I think.
Rufio. Rufio.
But
Yeah, but
this
no, I
and Mary
agree,
Martin.
especially with all the other Peter Pan movies, especially like a couple years back, I think it was like two different things, and everyone kept on coming back, you know, with thoughts about the movie, basically stating this isn't Peter Pan, thinking of the Disney version of Peter Pan.
Yeah.
You know, so it is one of those.
The Disney version of Peter Pan is the bar that every other adaptation is held up to. And I think that's something that's important
60,
to
you're talking
distinguish
60
when
to
you have
70
so many
years
different.
later, which is insane. Yeah. You don't
Yeah.
realize how
Yeah.
old that movie is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 11, Pinocchio. Another classic, a wonderful film. A lot of good animation, a lot of timeless music. Again, just another timeless classic that you couldn't imagine not living with.
I've got
I mean,
it
When You
with,
Wish Upon a
like
Star is
Pinocchio?
literally
I
the
don't
anthem
dislike
of the
Pinocchio. I
company.
don't
So
care about Pinocchio.
Foulfellow and Gideon are two of my favorite villains
I think
ever.
Pinocchio's just, it's fine. It's,
Stromboli.
you know, in the list of Disney films, it'd be like, oh, what do you want to watch? Like, Pinocchio would never like.
I just like that Pinocchio has like a rogues gallery of villains. I like that he's like Spider-Man and he has all these bad guys. It's like, oh, I got this. Yeah, there's a fox and a cat after me, and this big fat Italian dude, and there's a coachman who wants to put me in a box. And then the whale. Oh my God! And then this movie, they're teaming up.
that can make you feel disjointed, but it does flow still between those.
Oh, it's great.
And
It's a great story.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I've done 2 hours on this movie on this channel before, so it's and it's the animation between the shorts and Snow White was a leap. I don't think there's been a bigger leap in animation into this movie.
Yeah.
It's just every little bit of it. the story, they took something that was nightmarish for kids, made it at least kid friendly in some respects.
It still
but not
teaches you the
still
lesson. It's still
scary.
scary enough, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Colleen though. It's not that I don't like it. I just don't really whatever.
And more memorable characters than anything other than maybe the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah, a lot of memorable
Absolutely.
characters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you can't forget that "When You Wish Upon a Star" is literally the anthem of the company. Like
Yeah.
that is, yeah, you can't disregard that, of course.
Number 10, The Jungle Book. Love The Jungle Book.
forgot
Great
that one was
music,
there.
great animation, really fun characters. It's a fun movie to watch. It never drags. But it's really funny, but then it also gets very emotional. Like when Mowgli spots the girl and like is gonna leave Baloo, I'm just like, oh no. Like just really heartbreaking.
Tom's like, no, don't go with the girl.
Yeah, stay with the cute animal. She's gonna ruin your life. She's gonna make you take Instagram photos of her with that pot. Here I am with the clay wall.
I just don't know why I could never get into this one. It's in the middle of range,
You
but
can't get into this one?
oh,
There's
never
a bunch
really
of
loved-
buzzards that play the Beatles.
The music's great. I don't know why it just can't hold my attention for the whole movie.
No, I feel you. I feel the same.
Good. Andy just figured out how to use a kazoo, literally just now.
Your life is over.
Have fun with that.
That's so good.
It's because she's gonna
I
play
can't think
Friends
of-
till the end for you.
I literally cannot think of a bad thing about The Jungle Book. It's one of my favorite films, just in general, of all time.
And the music, my God. And I'm not even talking about just the songs with lyrics. That, oh my God, just the score.
The score.
So moody and perfect, and I love it. That Serengeti Serenade, man. So good. One of the greatest pieces of music I've ever heard. Number 9, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. This is, for me, one of the most quintessentially Disney movies ever. And I know it doesn't follow the normal formula, but there's a reason these characters are as beloved as they are. You can't help but fall in love with all of them. They're legitimately, I think, the funniest moment, not only in Disney animation, but of all time, is when he gets stuck in Rabbit's house and they put the moose face on him. It's funny to everyone of every age. It doesn't matter who you are. That's stupid, and she messes up the mouth at the end and it's all squiggly. Just everything about the music is really cute. Little Black Rain Cloud and Heffalumps and Woozles and all of that. I mean, this is such a great way to bring this to life, and I love interacting with the narrator and breaking the fourth wall, and there's so much to love about this, and this is the movie why people love Winnie the Pooh so much. It all stems from this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best possible way they could have done a package film for those 3 shorts.
It's not even
They
really a
tied it
package
together
film.
with
I mean,
the
they're
narrator
short stories to begin with.
Well, but it's still the 3 shorts that they made, but they tied it together so well with the narrator. It's the best way you could have done that.
Yeah.
I think that's why I have it at 20, is just because it was pre-existing things they kind of wrapped together to make a feature, and that's the only reason I think.
I don't know if it would have been as impactful though if they had just been shorts. Honestly, I think that the fact that they turned it into a film is what. Well, imagine trying to. I'm not sure how to describe it.
Okay.
I don't know. There's just I really feel like
Next.
I have lost my train of thought, but I genuinely feel like that would not have been as memorable if it was not a film like this, especially with the way they added the narrator, and
Winnie the Pooh is good.
And Eeyore. Oh God, you want to talk about fantastic comic relief? Eeyore.
There are bees.
Yeah.
Oh man, there are bees.
Get bee merchandise, but be like, it's fine. It's Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, you'll love the store in Tokyo, though. All right, number 8, Zootopia. This is my last CGI.
Zootopia is such a good movie.
Yeah.
It's so good. Remember,
yeah.
people were like, Moana should win the Oscar. And I was like, no, Zootopia should win the Oscar. I like Moana, but Zootopia has like a really legitimate lesson. You're like,
taught in a
animals.
very creative,
Yeah.
really thoughtful way.
That like a kid isn't gonna be like, oh, racist.
Yeah.
But as an adult, you're like, wow. And they're great characters.
It's a hilarious
and
movie.
It's so funny, and I love I love the layout of the city, and then it's all these different environments, and how they've like got subways.
A wonderful
different
lesson in
sized
world building in a
cars.
movie.
Yeah. They built a wonderful world for all these different.
See, that's what I wanted out of Ralph Breaks the Internet. I thought they were gonna do that with the internet, but I think they just didn't. And Zootopia, it's like we never stop. You know, we have the train sequence, which is fantastic, and that sets up all you need to know about the city. And then they just thoughtfully weave the story and the city together through the rest of it.
Yeah.
I love Zootopia.
I'm really interested to see how they handle the world building with the land in Shanghai.
Well, it's in Shanghai, so poorly.
That would be cool. Like if that was done well, that would be good.
It's actually at this point just going to be they're going to buy like a generic churro cart and just paint it and write popsicles on it. It's probably where we're headed. Number 7.
7.
Yeah, 7. Thank you, Colleen. Appreciate you saving that.
Sorry, I yawned. I'm sorry.
Alice in Wonderland. This is one of my absolute favorites. I love all the characters are memorable. It's so crazy and it captures what it's all supposed to be so well. Beautifully animated, great music, and just you love all of these insane characters in there. Each one's crazier than the last. Just really fun, just fun movie, and because that pace just keeps you interested the whole way through.
It is relentless, the whole movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that works for it. And there are people who really hate this movie or people who really love it. I don't think there's
Walt Disney didn't like it.
See, I would say I
don't think there's a
love
middle of the
Alice.
road
I
on.
hate Alice. It's fine. It's weird. I remember the first time I watched it as an adult, and I was like, "What on earth just happened?"
Yeah.
It's not one of my favorites. You know, it wouldn't be in like my top 10. There's nothing like wrong with it necessarily. It's just kind of strange and all over the place. It doesn't have the sort of like more straightforward plot, I guess, that I would enjoy.
I mean, the source material doesn't really have that much of a straightforward plot either, so it fits. I mean, there's not really much else you can say about it.
Number 6. This is the one Nick wanted to come on the show today for to yell at me about. Yeah, no, he brought this up because he knew it was going to be low.
Low? Because it's number 6?
That's what I mean. He knew I was going to rank it pretty close to the top. And he hates it. Lady and the Tramp.
Nick hates Lady and the Tramp?
I'll take
he
Nick's
thinks it's
opinion on
very
this one, 'cause
overrated.
I have it at 45.
Oh my God! Come on.
I would
What?
definitely have it lower. I don't know where. I really have to think. But like I don't. I never really care. Like it's fine. There's nothing wrong with Lady and the Tramp.
Backgrounds are so beautiful. They're really beautiful. It's a cute love story. I think it's really touching. There's a lot of fun characters. There you go. There's some dogs. See, the animals are wonderful. How do you not love a movie with animated dogs falling in love? I mean, the spaghetti scene transcends all of film. It's one of the most seen moments in history.
Part I remember really.
Oh my
they
God!
have spaghetti and they're
about the beaver. You don't remember the beaver?
There's a beaver.
There is a beaver.
I don't remember the
He's
beaver
a tramp. Oh my God!
I
Let's say he's a tramp.
I remember the racist cats, and I remember like the spaghetti scene. I've always
A lot of people are mad at me for this. Don't find it essential.
Yeah, I
How
would've-
dare you? This is WDWNT Lady and the Tramp makes sense. What does that mean?
I
Tony's.
could understand it. Part of my hatred for it comes from it's one of those movies my sister had on repeat when she was younger than me, so it was always on, and I got sick of it. But I don't think it's an interesting story. I don't think it added anything to the animation that wasn't already there. The music's fine. I don't know why and I still, look, I said anything above like Atlantis, I thought was still like a B. So I don't think it's a horrible movie, but it's still not anywhere near my tops.
So
It's a great movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, basically you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. Don't care.
Tom's not wrong.
It's a beautiful movie. Number 5, Beauty and the Beast.
For me,
What?
Beauty and the Beast would have been number 1.
It's valid.
Thank you, Colleen.
I'm trying to figure out.
Beauty and the Beast is an amazing movie.
Yeah.
And beautiful, and
Yeah.
it's got a great story, and it's got great music and great characters, and that would have been like my number 1. Even though I don't know, like that was my favorite as a kid. I don't know if I would say that that's my favorite anymore. But that would have been my number 1.
Honestly, it's a movie I don't even really sit to watch very often because it's not my favorite, but it's hard to ignore just how great of a film it is. Like the music, the animation, the story, everything about it. Just because it doesn't necessarily appeal to me as much as a lot of the other ones, I have to respect that it is absolutely one of, if not the greatest animated film ever made, and that's why it's number 5, even though it's not like my personal favorite.
That was my
higher
favorite.
for me,
Yeah. There's not a single bad song in that film. It's beautifully animated. They balanced CG and hand drawn perfectly in the ballroom scene. That's my number 1. I can't imagine it being any lower.
And I think it is one of the very few things that they were able to like add a song to later, and that was fine. Like that song.
Yeah.
Oh, Human Again?
Oh yeah, Human Again is a great
For the
song.
IMAX release.
Good one.
Yeah. But
That wasn't
was
added.
the
That was cut.
musical.
It got added for the IMAX release.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was in the original formatting of the movie. It was a cut piece.
Yeah,
It was just cut
It
scene,
wasn't
yeah.
fully animated. But
They
had,
they put it in
recorded.
the musical. Yeah.
But it was in the musical. I saw the Broadway musical twice, like when once before I went to Broadway and once after. Belle was always one of my favorite princesses.
People are now trying to guess the top 4 in the chat. They're all yelling about it.
Well, there's only.
There is
4
one you
left.
haven't talked about that I am deeply concerned about.
I wrote down the top, the ones that are left, and I'm like, okay.
Don't say
This is
it.
interesting.
Don't spoil it.
I mean, I
No,
don't
I won't.
agree. So,
But Beauty and the Beast would
Beast,
definitely be higher for me.
great.
3 of them are
Probably
my top
number
4, and one of them
3.
is still in my 50s.
Oh, in your
Yeah.
50s.
I think I know
Yeah.
which one it's going
This
to
should be
be.
interesting.
The one everyone's mad about is next, and I'm going to yell at all of you. Number 4, Bambi.
That would
Nope.
be it.
I always thought.
Number
What is
51
wrong with
on
you
my list.
people?
I always thought Bambi was boring.
No. Number
Bambi is
1,
boring.
the art. I mean, Bambi is like watching a living painting. It is probably the most beautiful movie ever made. The animation is gorgeous. The backgrounds, it's like a painting has come to life. It's unreal. The music is
It's
very
boring.
memorable. I think it's a really good
It's
story.
boring.
It stays with people. I mean, again, it's one of those movies when you bring up Disney, it's one of the things people immediately think about is Bambi. And again, one of
But
the
does anybody
most
remember-
emotional moments in all of movie history, the mother
yeah.
getting shot.
The mother getting shot.
But that's the only thing
creates
people
That-
remember.
An incredible moment.
That is what people remember.
The man you never see is often voted as like the #1 villain of all
Yeah.
time on things like that. Creates a really iconic moment. I just know, like, I always kind of thought the movie was boring.
People are like, snooze, Bambi is trash. People,
Bambi's not bad.
this is why I
Okay,
made the
Bambi is
TCM
not
reference
trash.
earlier, because
You know.
these are people who won't sit through an older movie
Just
and
never
understand
into
what's
Bambi.
magical about it. But
Bambi's not
I definitely
trash,
wouldn't
it's
put
just
it on
kind of
number like 50 something, but it wouldn't be as high as it is right now for me.
I would have put Bambi in like 29 or 30 maybe, I think.
You're all terrible people.
It's a beautiful film. I agree with you on that. But the thing is, the story is so boring. You only remember when the mother gets shot.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't remember April showers. You don't remember the scene of them gliding across the ice. No one ever thinks of that, right?
I'm not even gonna lie.
don't think-
Earlier, was it? I'm sorry. Is it Rob?
Ron.
Ron, not even. He mentioned if we were talking and he mentioned about it being in like Alice in Wonderland, or someone said something and I was like, yeah, honestly, I always think that's an Alice in Wonderland. I never
don't
think
remember
that.
Song.
No.
I remember he can call me a flower if he wants to. And the ice.
Wow.
Mom dies. That's.
You guys are
The
ridiculous.
dad is a horrible distant father.
Ridiculous.
It's other than the mom getting shot, it's like so saccharine you're gonna get diabetes from the movie.
Please. Yeah, so saccharine. The whole Twitter pated segment. Oh my God,
Instagram
so great.
likes Twitter pated. If you can't say nothing nice, don't say
You can't
nothing
say
at all.
something nice. What does your father say about eating just the? Never mind. I'm not going to get into all this Bambi stuff.
And it actually comes from a fairly long book.
Yeah.
The original material is a short book.
Yeah. Anyway, people. I don't know how you people are Disney fans. Number 3, Fantasia. Can't ignore the craftsmanship, the artistry of Fantasia. It is a beautiful piece of work. The idea that, still very, I would say still pretty early in the days of modern filmmaking. And to be like, oh, not only are we going to do this, we're going to synchronize all this animation to this music. And we're going to present it in a format that no one's ever done before, that's so crazy that you're going to have to build custom theaters that'll travel just to show this damn thing. It's a beautiful film. The segments are really memorable. It's like inventive and different, creative, and it's just a really wonderful, wonderful thing. And I think that it's a thing that really establishes not only making the first feature-length animated film, but I think what established that Disney would do new and exciting things was Fantasia. This idea that, oh man, we got to go see this movie in this tent basically because no one has this incredible format, and the visuals are so stunning, and just it's a really important piece of movie history, and one of the greatest things I think Walt ever did.
I have it at number 1.
It's a very.
I think it's gorgeous. It's unique. I spent 200 hours working on this stupid movie for a documentary I did for it, and I'm not kidding. I was editing, writing, researching. I found books that were written at the time. There's so much that went into this. So much came out of it that even if it's not something people watch all the time, I think it's something people know. It influenced every piece of animation to come after it. It invented what we really think of as like modern stereotype of sound. To me, it just had to be number 1. And it's also the only feature like to really put Mickey in a place.
Yeah. It was originally going to be dope.
It's one of the very early examples of film as an art, and the fact that it still endures as a fantastic example of film as an art is after 75, 80 years. Yeah. Fantasia is one of the most impactful films, not just in animated films, but just one of the most impactful films of all time. And you can't understate that at all. It's fantastic.
Number 2, Sleeping Beauty.
Who's the main character of this movie?
do you mean, who's the main character of this
Character.
movie?
Because the title character is in 16 minutes of the movie.
What does that matter? It's a great movie.
And then
It is a master class on animation. It has one of the greatest villains in any movie ever made. The music is fantastic. All the side characters are great. You really like all of them. You like Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather, the king, the prince.
Maleficent is a great villain. Like, it's not that it's a bad movie. I guess I'm just like, who's the main?
She may not actually be the main character.
I mean,
I think Maleficent takes the main character.
Yeah.
Who? What?
Maleficent has to be
Maleficent
character, I think.
He's not wrong,
'cause
yeah.
even the prince isn't really in it that much.
No,
like,
but it's just because the
doesn't
name of the
even-
movie is Sleeping Beauty doesn't mean it has to be about her.
But that's like what it's.
I mean, how much-
I guess that's what annoys me in some ways. That it's like, it's Sleeping Beauty, and you're like, but she's like barely in it,
Yeah.
and it's not really, you know.
Maybe they realize
She's the
that like a
MacGuffin of the
16-year-old
movie.
girl isn't really that interesting. I don't know.
No. But you know, and then it's like, oh, the prince is like a well-developed prince, and he's like the first well-developed prince who like has a name and lines and stuff. So like that's nice for him.
Yeah.
And he's funny, but even then, it's not.
That's nice
really
for him.
even about him. Like the fairies enchant his sword and actually make it hit Maleficent.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I guess that's what always kind of was. I was like, I felt like to some extent it was lacking.
Yeah.
Like, what's it about? But Maleficent is a great bad guy. Like,
I have it
invite
at
me to
number
parties,
4.
you all gotta die.
For one reason. Every background in this movie could be hanging in the Louvre.
Yeah.
But the character art is beautiful too. Mark Davis, everyone involved in this. The characters are really beautifully drawn, and they match the background. And like Lady and the Tramp, they are more just quintessentially Disney animated characters, and the backgrounds are pretty. But this way, I think it's both. I think the character art matches how beautiful the background is, and it blends together really nicely. A lot of color, very pretty movie. And you could probably guess what number 1 is. It's The Lion King. I don't know how you beat The Lion King. Is it my favorite of all time? No. I think it is the best movie they've done, though. I think the story is all there. The music is there. The animation. I think I tear up every time I see Circle of Life because I think it's one of the most beautifully animated sequences I've ever seen. It's a beautiful song with incredible visuals. I think it's one of the greatest sequences in any movie ever made. And then beyond that, just a great story, good comic relief. There's a reason Lion King is held in the regard it is. It's because it's everything they learned to that point. And I don't think they've been able to top it since. I don't think they've even come close.
That's another thing I like to like imagine a meeting and being like, listen guys, Hamlet, but with lion.
Well, they thought Pocahontas was the winner, like we saw in Waking Sleep Beauty. They said, no, it's West Side Story meets Native Americans. It's a big hit. This Lion King thing, we're not sure about it.
No, it's a great movie. I mean, The Lion King is a great movie.
It's at number 2 for me. I can't think of much else to say about it.
Yeah, it's where I have it.
I'm with
It's memorable. Every side character, even like the 3 hyenas, are memorable characters.
Yeah.
There's just nothing about the
Great villain song.
They nailed every aspect of it, and that's why.
Score.
Well, how long did it last? Animated like it lasted
Until
longer
Frozen,
than anything else.
Yeah.
Right, and I mean, adjusted for inflation, it's probably still going to be.
It's such a great
all right.
movie that you could make a CGI remake and just print money. And you don't even have to change a single thing in the movie. And it will still just make so much money because it's The Lion King.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's my list.
Well, there's that.
Scott's like, I'm done. Scott's like, once you listed Moana and Little Mermaid and Mulan in the 20s, I'm good.
Tapped out. I actually have to get going. My phone's going to die. But
All right,
I'll see everyone
later,
a little
Scott.
later.
Bye, Scott.
Bye, Scott.
Scott.
What was everyone
And also,
else's
we'll say
number
this has-
one?
I had this at 2 and Fantasia as 1.
That's
I
fair.
had Beauty and the Beast as 1.
It would have been very close to Beauty and the Beast or The Lion King, yeah, for sure.
Wolf, what is your top 10? I need to know how much
I don't-
millennial
the thing-
garbage you have in your top 10 is what I need to.
So I don't have a list. I
Okay.
honestly don't even have a list. But Peter Pan would have been in my top 5.
What's your
Let's
number
see here,
one?
because I have all the. My number 1 would have been The Lion King or Beauty
Okay.
and the Beast. Fantasia's also on my top 10 at least. I don't know where I'd put it.
So the reason we did this was as soon as all this went down, IGN one day decided to do like their ranking, and I was so annoyed because the top 5 were all from the 90s, and I was like, that's like you put a lot of this older stuff way back, and I'm like, I don't know about some of it. And they put like Mulan at 5, and I'm like, I love Mulan, but that doesn't belong there. I mean, that seems a bit much. And so it got me thinking about like what are my rankings? What do they actually look like? I don't know. So
My top 5, I'm thinking about it, or at least like top 4 would have been like Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, and like Tangled and Frozen. I don't know in what order, but like those 4 would have probably been like, I think, great. I mean, I think, I know, like, obviously my mom and dad, I don't know, put more effort into me seeing more of the older Disney films because, like, Shannon is 6 years younger than me, and there are plenty of older Disney films that she's never seen or hadn't seen, and I was, like, surprised, as a teenager that it was like, you've never seen The Rescuers? And she didn't watch them, and so I think that there is, like, younger people who haven't seen 20 of these movies at least, anything, they know all the movies from the 90s on.
yeah. That's it.
It's just so hard to put like a lot of these things in the other than like the bottom 5 and top 5. A lot of them can move a couple spaces here or there at any point. I think, as I said, like I'd say anything other than like Home on the Range, Chicken Little, and maybe like, and I could make an argument for all other than those 2. I would watch any of these like on a regular basis. Like that's the problem with it.
Yeah. Quick reminder, if you enjoyed our countdown and what we're doing, you can become a WIGS member, part of the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. You can join as little as $2 a month. You get post shows where we discuss fun things like this too for WDW News Tonight and Park Center. You get to see all the cool paper stuff that Jason is scanning in from the early days of Epcot Center and all kinds of fun stuff like that. Get the full res stuff you can download. And as well, you get early registration to events and so much more. So join at patreon.com/WDWNT. It's a great way to support WDWNT if you're enjoying what we're doing every day. And otherwise, there is also the super chat right there on YouTube, which you could use to donate as well. So there you go. Colleen, what's coming up on WDWNT Live this week? Let's find out. Tonight at 9 p.m., it's Cosmic Read Live, taking your Disney Parks music requests and more. Tomorrow at 11 a.m., the Wolf Den. Wolf, what are you doing?
So, we're going to be playing some games. We're also going to be talking about, actually, it's funny, we were talking about today Peter Pan and how that basically transcends generations. So we are casting our own live-action Peter Pan.
Wow.
It's going to be Disney's version of it, but we're going to fan cast that. We're also talking about the Great Muppet Movie Ride. We're going to be naming some scenes that we would have loved to have seen on that ride if that ever got made, and some other stuff. So stick around. Hope you guys come and watch.
Very cool. Tuesday night, tomorrow night at 9 p.m., it is the complete history of Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress on Back to the Future Live. We're going to take you all the way from the 1964 World's Fair. We're going to take you to Disneyland and then to the Magic Kingdom. Of course, the advent, current day, of the Laserdisc and the car phone, all the way up to those incredible modern-day inventions. Make sure you tune in for that tomorrow night. It's going to be a long one. On Wednesday at 11 a.m., it's Cooking with Tyler. I think he's making cheddar cheese soup. You think? I don't know.
Believe so.
I don't know what he's making. 9 p.m. on Wednesday is Park Center. I think it's the first show where they're actually going to talk about the parks being closed because they've been doing March Madness for a couple weeks. So get ready for the first depressing edition of Park Center this week. At least I won't get called the devil this week. That'll be good. On Thursday at 11 a.m., it's Party with Pete. Everyone's been raving about Pete's party, man. Last week he had Keanu Rob on. This week he told me Yeehaw Bob's going to be on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeehaw Bob's going to be on. 11 a.m., Party with Pete this Thursday. And also at 9 p.m., our premiere show, WDW News Tonight. So I don't even know what's on this week. I don't know what the game is. I don't have it in front of me or anything. I don't know. I can run in the other room and tell you what's on News Tonight this week. I'm going to go look at the calendar. I don't even know. Can you tell we've written most of the show yet? This week on News Tonight, oh boy, great moments in history, but just the Disney management parts, the puppet show.
That should be interesting, Tom. How are we going to do that?
Well, we'll figure it out. Also this week is the last ever edition of the Map Game. It's the farewell edition of the Map Game, a long staple of News Tonight. You can see how people feel about it. It makes them cry. We're gonna play the Map Game. Also, this was planned before what was currently going on, but your last Walt Disney World meal, we're gonna have our panelists pick a appetizer, an entree, and a dessert from different restaurants and try to make the perfect last Walt Disney World meal. And then those of you in the chat, we're going to let you vote and pick who you think did the best job. All that and more this week on WDW News Tonight. Friday, Colleen, you're making scrapbook pages.
Yeah.
At 12, at noon.
At noon, because I've been here until 1 in the morning the night before.
Okay.
I thought I could sleep a little longer.
Yeah.
You won't be here.
That's fine. Here's what you'll need.
Here's the things that you'll need. We're going to make a scrapbook page, which you can frame to display photos. You don't have to put it in a scrapbook. So you
can remember what it looks like to go to a theme park.
Yeah. So you'll need either a 12 by 12 or like an 8 by 10 piece of paper, and then some colored paper, construction paper kind of things. Disney paraphernalia like maps, tickets, postcards, the annual pass holder magazine thing they send you, anything like that. You'll need a glue stick, you'll need scissors, and then decorations, which could be stickers, washi tape, stamps, stencils, ribbons, anything you want. And then 2 or 3 4x6 photos that we will be putting on it. And if you don't have photos yet, you could make a page with just spots to put photos later.
And then I don't even know what this is, but Friday, April 10th at 9 p.m., it's the Digital Dance Party. Who's Pete's hosting this, right?
No, I think it's just Chris.
Oh, is it Chris Reed who's doing it?
Yeah.
I think Pete said he was involved too, but maybe it's just Chris Reed.
I don't know.
I can't remember everybody. Everybody's doing a lot of stuff. It's hard to keep track of what everybody's doing because we're trying to bring you 2 shows a day. But whoever's doing it, I'll talk to him and get some more details about it at the staff meeting tonight. But 9 p.m. on Friday, a digital dance party. All this and more coming up this week on WDWNT Live. We've got some exciting stuff I can't announce just yet that's on the big calendar over here. But I will tell you we have some crazy cool ideas coming up, and I think we're going to keep you all entertained until these parks are ready to finally reopen. What's wrong with you today?
I think I slept for like maybe 3 hours.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And not that interesting, so I'm really tired.
Wow. I'm like Bambi.
Yeah, you're a lot like
I hate all of you.
Wow.
All right. That's going to do it for us now. Make sure you tune in tonight for Cosmic Read Live. We'll see you. Stay safe, everybody. I'm like Bambi.